feels like what could be feeling like chaos the next little what, like the last year, you might find that things might work out better than you imagined. Gemini, sun, moon, rising, Geminis. This is a time where the symmetry between people, I would pay attention to how people know each other, how people are connected to you, how people come at you, how people show up for you, and that you could find there could be a bit of jealousy here and there that you'll have to put into check, and that people could be a bit manipulative or feeling helpless, or maybe they want you to feel helpless, but you're like, I'm not helpless. No, I don't have too many Geminis that are. And that this could be a time where there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and it all feels busy. It doesn't feel quite productive. And that this might be a time where you very much might covet your alone time, your free time, your quiet time, the ability to shut down or have some rest. And so showing up for you, Geminis, next 7 to 10 days. Cancerian, sun, moon, rising, my little crabs. This is the time where you could find you're part of an exclusive committee or club. You can be tapped on the shoulder to be part of making decisions, deciding who's in, who's out. You could be a time of negotiating and making concessions. You might want inclusivity, you might want exclusivity, or in exclusivity, you might want inclusivity. This could be a time where you really want to bring your opinion to places it matters. I wouldn't just throw it around places where people aren't listening. You might have some really important things to say, but I want you to be able to find the right audience where your opinion, your ask, your need, something you want to voice publicly might be of service to. You might get a good response. You might find the right hashtags for a viral feed. And that you could, what you ask for, you could get tenfold. You can get more than you thought that you were asking for. They're little crabs. Leo, sun and rising, the next 7 to 10 days. This is a time to a commission. You might work hard for the bonuses. You could find small bits of money or small rewards for all the work you've been working on. You might divest from people around you that are vampires, that are draining your energy. It might feel a bit transient, like you can't get commitments from people. And that's okay. Work with not the commitment. Work with knowing that things need flexibility. Don't let people put words in your mouth or twist anything you've said. Be really clear in what you're saying to people. You might want to follow up an email with a phone call or conversation, and to come across very clear to people. And you might find that this is a time that you want to guard your time and your energy so as not to be feeling like your wheels are spinning. And if you're starting to feel tired in the week, it could be that you could find your energy spinning a bit. Virgo, sun, moon, rising, Virgo. This is a time of small victories that could come on the job front. It could come on things you're working on. It could come with having a voice, independence, an opportunity to manage something or coordinate something, or you could be put in those roles. This is a time where your backbone will be important. It's about ethics, morality, doing the right thing when no one's looking. Maybe your boss is seeing something in you where they're like, you know what, that person's showing up in the right way. I feel like this is a time where you could get news that makes you feel like I was right. And I hope you get some glory in that. That brings you something. And that this is a time of maybe a conception of good partnerships, good relationships, good business opportunities. Something about that seems really quite decent around you. Or that you have a boss who might want to bring you into something as well. All right, Virgos, Libras, sun, moon, rising. We have our Libras. Adornment. So this is a time where don't let your worries get to you. I would say make a list, write your worries down, and I would change them from worries into goals. I would change them into worries into actions. And I feel like this would be a time for you to not make assumptions about people, I would get clarity where is necessary, clear up anything people could be saying to you. You could be finding that you're going to really clean up any waste in your life, waste time, wasted effort, wasted food, wasted. You could be really getting a savings plan, conservation, conserving your energy, and that you're not going to be bugged into doing something. If you've said no to someone, you're pretty much going to stick to it the next 7 to 10 days. So some good stuff around that for you guys, little Libras. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, Scorpio. This is the time that there's germination. So watch for illness, germination of sickness, viruses, flu season. That this is a time of exhaustion at times. So find that, get your rest. Get yourself in alignment with what you're actually wanting. You might have felt a bit disaligned or unaligned with people and places around you. Find things that are in alignment with you. It could be stuff that no one else is doing, and that you might have to go it alone a bit and go do it by yourself and go find your own way, find what you're doing. You could be planning vacations. You could be looking at some forward travel coming up for you that could bring you some excitement. I feel like you just have to drag your knuckles for a few more weeks, get some work in before you can take the vacation time, but you might be dreaming of those future vacations. And that this could be a time of staying poised for change and really not giving up at the slightest, having to switch directions or having to switch mindsets. You might be really open to that, Scorpio, the next 7 to 10 days. Sagittarian, sun and rising. You'll prove your worth, Sagittarians, to people around you. When people need you, you'll be there. You're going to be really trying to sort some stuff out. You might find a delay in money, some challenges around finances, money, what you've been thought you were saving, you could find you have to expend. You might find that you're going to be like, I got to tighten my belt. I'm putting in restrictions. I'm going to get very serious about my health regime, or going to get very serious about rules and structures around my house, around my finances. So you're going to really be putting a lot of that in play, which I find could help you a lot. You might be going, nope, there's no time for fun. I gotta work and get things done. And so you're going to be very focused around that the next 7 to 10 days. And I think it'll serve you well. There, Sagittarians. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising, my little Capricorns. This is a time of creation, of comprehension. You could be looking for new opportunities, new work. Your name could be put in the hat. And if you're looking for anything new around that for those Caps, it looks like this could be a time of some success where you can get taps on the shoulder, people giving you the inward. They could say, I'll put a good word in for you. They're hiring at my work. So there's something going on good for you around that, Capricorns. There could be some work to do in relationships in terms of romantic relationships, partnerships, or long-term friends. You might need to be there for people. You might need to show up. You might need to maybe put your needs aside for a bit to or cater to, and that you're going to need patience with people. You could find that you're really being triggered by people's inaction or people being frivolous. So I feel like this could be a time for you to really maybe check in with people just to be there for them, and they might need things from you. It might be a time to say yes to helping people out. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising, my little Aquarians. And this is a time of vibrancy and excitement and maybe payments and offerings, and you can't be waiting too long on an answer, or you can't wait too long to give an answer. There's going to be a time where you might have to be quick thoughted to take advantage of the opportunity being presented. Like, if you don't buy it now, it's gone. If you don't ask for it now, it's gone. If you don't take advantage of it now, it's gone. So this is going to be a time when things pop up for you. Take advantage of that. It's going to be a time for you to really look at them, say yes. And it's no coincidence. And you can find a lot of unusual or good opportunities popping up for you that you're just going to require a quick yes and to follow through with, and go pick it up, go get it, be the one to show up, be the one to clean it up. And you could find you wind up, say, with some new furniture. You could find wind up with some new clothes, something new that comes to you because you were quick to take the opportunity. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. For this, it's going to be about wish fulfillment and looking at what you've gained this last year in your life with your birthday season coming up and how to replenish yourself and what you're going to be looking forward to this next year. You have tons of planetary energy going on for you right now. And you have an eclipse kicking off pretty soon with your birthday. This is about where you've matured to, where you've come full circle. And that you might feel that there's salvation for the world, salvation for humanity, salvation for yourself, and that you could become really recommitted to things where you've lost creative juices, you've lost motivation, you've lost inspiration. You could find things recommit you to humanity, to your job, to creative projects, to things that are important to you. And this will be a time to kind of get back to those things. Now, you can find me, and those are for all 12 signs. You can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com. There you'll be able to find booking a reading with me. I'll never approach you on any social media. I'm only on Facebook, and it's mainly only because I have this radio show. Otherwise, I do read with people all over the world on video and in person. And I'm also a painter, and I also do channel paintings as well. And I'll be releasing an oracle deck. Yes, I said it. I'll be releasing an oracle deck in the next couple months. I'm just fine-tuning it. And it's 44 of my pieces of artwork that I've created along with these stories that go with them around healing. And so I look forward to that, and stay tuned for more information on that coming up. And now let's get to my caller. I have Meg, who's been waiting so patiently for me. Now, Meg, my name is Bernice. How can I help you today?
I just have been very intrigued by this, practice, and wanted to call in and have a reading. That's all. Do you need a specific problem to solve?
No, I don't want problems. We're not, I tease. We don't want people's problems. But let's talk about what might be coming up for you, what shows up for you in and around you. How about that? We'll start there, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. And so I feel like the first thing I want to say is that you might find, I know there's a lot of deceased people, so I'm just going to say there's a man who shows up in spirit. He doesn't seem like he was all that old. I feel like he seems to show up with you saying to me that if I thought of a group of 6, there could be a group of 5, and that there is an opportunity to go and travel coming up. You might travel out of your state. You might travel away from where you're from to go see other family. It could be even a road trip, something that could come up for you even in June, that there could be news around May, June, and going out. And I feel like it could bring you more northwest than where you live now. And I feel like, I don't know that this man was old. He could have been around 65. I don't feel like he was an old guy. But he seems to show up really strong with you. And that and I feel like this travel and this news to travel out of state is going to show up for you May, June. And there'll be travel to go maybe see someone's family member or friend that seems to be a male, or the news would come from them that would bring you out of state. And I feel like that's going to show up in the next few months. The other thing that starts to show up as well is there seems to be news that's going to show up, and there's 2 sets of kids. So I'm a bit confused about the 2 sets of kids. And I want to say that if it's like I want to say 3, maybe 2 and 1, 2 sets of kids, and that there's the news of a baby girl. If she's wasn't recent in the last year or so, it seems to be showing up in the next, I'm going to say you'd know by June of 2026 about the birth of this baby girl. Some young adults right around your family. And I feel like, I even feel like it's funny because I almost want to say that the baby girl would wind up with a flower name and maybe your mom's name in her name in some way. that
Okay.
there's news around money being transferred. And I feel like the money could come through estate, insurance, something where it would have to do with financial papers, money. I don't know that I mean a will, like it could mean a mortgage as well. I don't know that it's about borrowing money. I feel like it's about money that's coming that would be split with people. So it could be an estate or an insurance payout. But there's something that's benefiting you financially that seems to be showing up even in this next, I don't want to say 9 months, 12 months. This news doesn't feel too far away. Now, it's not gazillions of dollars. I don't think so. I feel like there's something very much just getting wound up. And it could be a few $1,000s, $2,000, something getting wound up. There is, in terms of just your own self, Meg, there is something about maybe you're going to address something in your own health over this next 7 months, 2 to 7 months, something you're going to bring into balance, something that you're going to bring into like through a regimen, and that you're going to become very mindful about your health. And it's not about an attack of something, or it feels more like you're like, oh, I don't want to, my mom had that. I don't want to go down. I don't want to be like that. So I'm going to really take care of it. And that you could be talking about this in terms of your own health. So you're going to be very mindful about maybe your longevity, your health, how you manage your day-to-day routines, and something very much about the month of July that comes up, that you'll be coming together with women, in your family. And I feel like your mom will be the topic of conversation as well. And I just feel like you're like really going to do things to address health issues because you could be very similar to her in some way. And I feel like there's something about really good health outcomes or better health outcomes for you that you're going to be quite pleased about. That seems to show up in the next little while for you. And I don't know that I feel like it's about getting off medication or not being on it. I don't think it's about medication being the cure-all. I don't think that that's what I mean at all. If you don't mind me asking, Meg, what's the day and month of your birthday?
May 6th.
May 5th, 5/5, correct?
No. Well, I know it to be May 6th. I'm adopted, and my birth parents told me I was born on May 5th, but all my documents say May 6th, so I don't really know.
Interesting. Oh, 2 sets of kids. Oh, do you know your bio family? Have you met them?
Yes.
2 sets of kids. Now, can I ask you, well, maybe I'm going to say a couple things. So I'm going to go back to what I said about your health and like your mother. I may be talking about your bio mother, and that you could be very conscious about your health and not to biologically, like you could head something off at the pass, you could be on top of it, like, and you might get very serious, and you could be coming together with women in your family. And I feel like maybe I'm talking about bio family even, and her name would come up. And I just feel like you're, if I think about May, it's only because I heard, sometimes I can hear clearly on my little phone, and it's not you, it's the microphone on my phone. It adds a buzz to things. So sometimes it makes it sound different. So May 6th is your birthday. Or that's at least what you celebrate, my little Taurus. And I feel like you're at, if I think about your birthday, you are at the tail end of a 7-year period as a Taurus where it's been a bit disruptive, and you've had to been able to pivot and change directions and respond to things that, Taurus is like they want slow and steady. They want some, they want some predictable. And you're going to have an opportunity once the planet Uranus moves out of your sign with your birthday moving forward, moves into your second house of cash flow, money, those types of things. And you could, like I say, that could be the time where you hear about unexpected estates, financial benefits, something that comes up through paperwork. So something now and over the next 2 years that's going to be really good around your money, a bit unexpected, and where you might find, and it could come through legal documents, legal, and it feels like it's legal. I don't feel like this is a lotto win, but I would wish one for you, but I don't think that's what I mean. I don't think so. And so where things are going to be quite lovely for you is going to be in terms of your romantic life, your companionship, sense of loneliness, sense of where you're at. This is going to be a real coming together time for Taurus now and over the next 2 years. So I'm going to say now, like, as your birthday coming in the next years. And this is going to be very social, invitations, very much being able to get back to life, living vitality, living. It could come through celebrations. It could come through some news of travel that could bring you to another state, another place. But it does, I feel like you're going to another coastline. That's what I keep thinking in my head. But I feel like the news that comes up between now and even October, the time of Scorpio, is going to be, there's some good news in all of this and unexpected things. And you might be pleasantly surprised by people that they showed up, they followed through, they were able to. And, I want to go back to your mom for some reason. I mean, I feel like although you have these two sort of mother figures, I guess, I feel like there's a mother who thinks you're like the bee's knees, like you're the best thing that could have happened to her. I need you to know that. And I feel like maybe reconciling, or you could be reconciling who you are, your pathway. What does this mean? Did you reach your full being or potential? And I get a sense that, we have different times in our life where we bloom, where we become our best version of ourselves, really authentic. And I get a sense that now in this next 7 years, this next 2 years is really going to be about you speaking your voice, speaking your mind, being authentic, being who you are, really standing in what you like, and being a bit unapologetic about it. And I feel like with no need to really, you might find that you're going to be supported in a lot of ways, that you wind up getting the good parking spots. You wind up getting the little bits of money owed to you. You wind up getting the last word. Sometimes forces like that. But I do think that, and it's required you to maybe really have a backbone with a few people and some really clear boundaries with a few people where maybe they've learned this with you. Maybe they've recognized that they can't get from you what they tried to before even. So there's some of that, and you'll feel a sense of maybe really coming out of a bit of a loneliness, where you're back to your old self, back to people, back to going out for dinner with friends, or being able to get back to life in some way that's going to feel really good for you. But your birthday going forward is a huge astrological transit, not just for you, but for many Tauruses, and you're going into a very harmonic, a very balanced, almost like, I don't want to say predictable, because we don't live in that world at the moment. So I want to say one where you might find instant karma. Like if you said it, you did it. If you thought of them, they show up. If you knew that they had their up and comings, look, they got their up and comings. You didn't even have to lift a finger. You didn't have to say a word. And where you're going to be tested is is you're going to be tested with people you love and questioning their ethics. You might be, you might see a side of people that, they have a problem, that they might be struggling with something that you could ethically struggle with as well. So I think if that's the rock and the hard place, that might be it in this next year, this next few months. But know you're in good hands. Know you are loved immensely in spirit. I feel like it's going to give you serendipity to confirm things you've been thinking. You're going to find they're going to manifest pretty quick.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for Intuitive Readings with Nay Mary. Live from intuitivereadings.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, Ask1Radio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Intuitive Reading on A1R, the S1 Radio Network.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio, and whether you're returning or you're new to the channel, welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Nave from Intuitive Readings. I'm a psychic and medium, and I help people find peace and purpose by connecting them with the spirit world. And today I wanted to offer you a little bit of a glimpse into the other side, and in particular to answer some of those harder questions around what happens when you die and the first sort of life review process that a soul will undertake. So when we leave this physical world, our soul begins a journey back to the spirit realm. And one of the most fascinating stages of that journey is what we call life review. And so during that time, a soul reflects on the life that it's just lived, its actions, choices, relationships, and emotions that it had, and the emotions that it's caused in others as well. So you may have heard some people that have survived sort of near-death experiences might reflect or report that they saw their whole life flash before their eyes, and that is and that's what this life review process is that they're going through. It's not about judgment, so it is about understanding and growth. The soul takes time to process and to heal and transition fully into that spirit realm. Now, it can be really tempting to book a mediumship reading immediately following someone's passing, particularly if you didn't get a chance to say goodbye to someone, or you've entered like a really deep state of grief or loneliness, or you need them for something, or you need to ask a question, or where is the will or something. But I would really discourage you from doing that. And in fact, I don't generally take clients within the first 6 months of someone's passing. And there's some good reasons for that. So the reasons, and they're all good, valid reasons, it's usually the connection with loved ones, and especially when they've just newly transitioned, it is very faint, especially when they're going through that life review process and transitioning, because they are still adjusting to that new state, and they mightn't have that strength to be able to, or the knowledge on how to communicate clearly. So think of it as some sort of like a settling in period for the soul. And for mediums, this faint connection can make it incredibly difficult to receive clear messages. I find in my own readings that I do, where I have brought someone through who's only newly transitioned, they will often come through with a buddy. So we might have dad, and dad has brought through a sibling or something like this. So they often come through together, and messages can be mixed when spirits come through together, because you might get some evidence that relates to one and then evidence that relates to another. So it can be very confusing for you as a reader, but also the person that you're reading for. It can be difficult there too. So a second reason is also it's important to acknowledge your role in a reading as well as someone receiving a reading, and the role of your own energy during a reading. So when you're in a deep state of grief, your vibration will naturally lower. It's just part of the human experience. But unfortunately, spirit communication really needs both parties, so the medium and the person that the medium's reading, to carry a really high vibration. And it works best when both parties have that higher, lighter vibration, because there's just a better alignment. So a heavy heart, it can unintentionally block or distort the connection, and it does make it harder to bring through clearer messages. So it is important to give yourself that time to process grief, because it does allow for a stronger and more uplifting reading when the moment's right. And probably the third reason I'll mention too, if you come to a reading really, really wanting one particular person to come through, you can sometimes inadvertently block and make it difficult for the medium that you're working with to bring through the souls and the messages that you actually need at that precise moment. So it is better if you can sort of enter those readings in a state of openness and just be willing to accept anything that comes through. So that's a little bit about the life review process and connecting with newly departed loved ones. I might just take, just see if we've got any callers. And I've got Alcia in Nashville, Tennessee. How are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And are you looking for a bit of guidance today? Do you have a question, or can I assist you in an area of your life?
I don't really have a particular question per se. I would just like to be open for any message that may come through, please.
Oh, brilliant. That is the best way to be.
Thank you.
Let me see. I'm actually going to use my tarot cards today to see what you need to hear at this time. Okay. And so just in the position of past, they're just making me aware of, it's almost like coming from a place where, a darker place, and a place that's been quite difficult. So a few challenges to bring you to where you are today. Does that resonate for you?
It does.
Okay. And what they want you to be aware of in terms of how you can sort of move this energy now. Okay. So just being really strong and knowing that you will get past this. Spirit is actually telling me that you know that this is just like a temporary, this is almost like a temporary energy, and it's not something that's going to be, it's not going to stick around for a long time, but it's really just trying to get to the end of this. I am being made aware as well that you have some like planetary sensitivities as well. So it's almost as though, and I don't know if you noticed this, but they are bringing up the moon for you, almost as though, you know, full moons and moon movements, planetary movements do affect your energy. So I don't know if you felt as though your energy has changed significantly, particularly in the last couple of weeks, but sort of feeling good mood, off mood, good mood, off mood. But yeah, they are making me aware of that.
That makes a lot of sense. Definitely with the new moon that just passed, I really noticed a big difference. So, and that was about a couple of weeks ago. That makes sense.
Okay, and let me just see how you can sort of, I guess, get out of this funk, or just ensure that it's not, that you can get out of this energy sooner rather than later. Okay, and they are bringing up the Five of Wands, which for me is almost like a conflict card. So I don't know if you're sort of avoiding having conversations with people. Okay, they are making me aware of my throat as well. So I do feel as though there is something you need to be verbal about with someone. Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
Okay, and this is not, you know, the Five of Wands isn't telling you to, you know, go out with your sword and, and start a fight. But what it is suggesting is that you do need to stand your ground and be really strong and be really assertive in this space too. So it's not, this is not something to shy away from. But once you have sort of expressed yourself and your position, you are going to find that that there is changes in this space for you. And so things are going to sort of level out. And okay, and I do feel it happens in February, so it is quite soon. It's not something that's going to be sitting with you in the months to come. So there's nothing to be concerned about in that space, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions specifically around that situation? Otherwise, I'll draw another general card for you.
No, thank you.
Okay. And I'll just see what else Spirit needs you to hear at this time. Okay, it's bringing in the Knight of Cups as well. So the Knight of Cups to me is usually a bit of a romance card, sort of that knight in shining armor persona. And it is about, but it is also about balancing emotions as well, and sort of it just being sure to sort of keep emotions in check and try to, you know, talk about your emotions more so than getting to a point where you need to yell about your emotions, if that makes sense. So ensuring that you're sort of looking after yourself in that space and really using your voice. Again, they've just said use your voice. So I don't know if you're really struggling to communicate things at the moment, but they are saying, you know, to use your voice and to vocalize about the things that are going on for you, and especially when it comes to your emotions. So if you are feeling off, it is okay to tell people that you're not having a great day and to express that with people, particularly in your close circle who can help you through that. Okay. All right. And so thank you so much for the privilege of allowing me to read you today. I hope I've answered all your questions there. And thank you to all the listeners for all of your energy today. I really hope that you enjoyed that piece around the life review process and how mediums work in this space. It truly is fascinating to be working as a medium and to be sort of seeing the different connections come through, particularly with people who have newly passed as well. So thank you so much. If you would like to connect with me in the future, I'm Nay Mary, Intuitive Readings. You can find me on Facebook and at intuitivereadings.com.au. Thank you so much.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for Zodiac Zone with Melissa Markham. Live from nmastrovibes.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, ask1radio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Zodiac Zone on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. Happy January 30th, 2025. Happy 2025. Just wanted to kind of give you a rundown of what's going on astrologically. On Wednesday, we had a new moon in Aquarius. So I don't know how you all felt, but I felt really, really logical. I was in my air persona. I felt really logical. As of today, what happens is the moon changes signs about every 2.5 days. So the moon is moving into Pisces. And today I feel really kind of tired and dreamy and just a little less logical and more kind of in that water aspect. I also wanted to mention a couple of other things that are going on. So today, Uranus is going direct. It was since September 1st, 2024. It was in retrograde, and typically the outer planets stay in retrograde about 50% of the time. So Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are about 50% in retrograde. When a planet's in retrograde, it's a time to review, to kind of, we go inward. It appears that it's moving backwards, but it really doesn't. It's just appears that way, but that's really the energy that comes out. When it goes stations direct, it's a whole different meaning. So with Uranus, it's the awakener. We're having very, very significant Uranus transit this year in June. It moves into Gemini. So you're going to see a lot of big changes. Same energy as last time Uranus was in Gemini was during World War II. The time before that was during the Civil War. The time before that was the American Revolution. So kind of interesting how history repeats itself with this. So some of the aspects of Uranus is potential for personal growth, innovation, and really it's the awakener. It's really time to say to yourself, okay, where do I want to be? Where do I feel like what is working for me and what isn't? And where do I feel like I want to, to take this? So I don't know if you've been feeling like this. I know a lot of people have been telling me what's going on. This energy is really heavy. I think a lot of things are changing this year. So with that, I wanted to do a reading. I am a vibrational evolutionary astrologer, so I am going to look at your chart from an evolutionary standpoint, understand why you're here, what's the blockages, and so on and so forth. So I have Talisha from Salt Lake City.
Yes.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Like I said, a little bit tired compared to yesterday, but I'm doing well. What is your birthday, day, month, year?
March 31st, 82.
March 6, 1982?
Yep, March 31st.
I'm sorry, 6, as in 6?
No, 3.
Oh, March.
31, 82. Yeah.
Got it. 331. Got it. March 31st, 1982.
Correct.
And what time were you born?
I believe it was like 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning?
Like around
Okay.
8. Yeah, around that time.
And the city and state?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What city and state were you born?
El Paso, Texas.
El Paso.
Yeah.
El Paso, Texas. There we go. Okay. Like I said, so Talisha, what I do is I'm a vibrational evolutionary astrologer. So what I'm going to look at is something called the lunar nodes in your chart. They are the elliptical points in the sky. They are very karmic. It's going to tell me, where you're coming from, past, life into this life. So it looks like if I look at these nodes correctly, you have the south node in Capricorn in the 8th house of Scorpio, and the north node in Cancer in the 2nd house. I would say with a south node in Capricorn, south nodes in Capricorns tend to be very hard workers. They tend to be pretty goal-oriented. So Capricorn and Cancer in the chart reflect mom and dad. So Capricorn is dad, while the Cancer is the moon, is mom. Capricorn is represented by Saturn. So really for this life, it's not about work and goals. It's really about getting into the emotional sense of who you are. And in this way, it really covers your self-worth. It's about, because it's in the 2nd house in Taurus, I feel like it's about building. It could be building a business. It could be building something, building yourself up, your self-worth of, who you are. I would say, if I look at one other part in this chart, I look at Chiron. Chiron being the wounded healer. There's a whole backstory in Greek mythology about Chiron, and basically he was a centaur, half man, half horse, and he was immortal. It wasn't until he was released from his wounds that he understood really the meaning of life. And when I look at where your Chiron is in the chart, it's in the 12th house in Taurus. So I would say with that, in Taurus, Taurus people don't like change very much. It's like they fear change. And with it being in the 12th house, it's really about, it's kind of like when things get really bad and you feel a certain way, you tend to kind of go really inward and probably not want to deal with it. And I would say somewhat it could be issues connecting to source and connecting to spirituality, where you really want to do this, but it's kind of hard because it's change and it's maybe a new way of looking at something. Huh?
Yeah, and I don't like change.
Yeah. And I think the best way to deal with this is to actually make the changes, which seems very logical, but it's very hard because I have seen a lot of people with Chirons and Taurus continue to live in things that are not really good for them, because they're so fearful of what's going to happen. And I would say for you, it's really going inward too, to not logically and not looking at something that's, you know, it's not just about hard work and making money, but it's about how do you feel when you're doing something? How does it make you feel inward? How does it make you feel emotionally? Are you connected to this? You know,
Right.
and I feel like that's where you're going to find your happiness. You know, how does your body feel? How do you feel when you're whatever it is that you're wanting to build or wanting to do? How does it make you feel? Not what you've been conditioned to think, okay, I'm supposed to study this, I'm a hard worker, I'm supposed to do this, but it's really not about that. It's really about how you feel about all of this. And I feel like when you get to that level of consciousness, that's where you're going to find true happiness. That's where you're going to be able to build something in your heart's desire, because it's not about everything on the outside of what we think we're supposed to do. Does this all make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does. It makes complete sense. Yeah.
So I would challenge you to make those changes, even if they're very small. Start out very small, and then work your way up. Don't stay stuck in something that isn't good for you just because you fear that it's going to be worse than what you have. Embrace it.
Okay.
You know, because that's going to make you feel, once you get past that level, you're going to feel so much better about everything else. Then things are going to, because then you're flowing with the energy of the universe, rather than kind of staying stuck and staying, you know, because a lot of times Taurus will stay stuck and not do anything about it at all. And then wonder, oh my gosh, I should have done that, you know, and so make those necessary changes.
Okay.
So thank you so much for calling in, and have a great night.
You as well.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
So I wanted to also point out, tonight is pretty significant too. We're just getting over a new moon. We're going into Pisces. With the moon in Pisces is a really, really good time to manifest things. Some of the things that I do that I know that have worked for me, and I actually talk to my clients about this, is writing things that I want down in my phone, and watching the words that I say. In other words, people always say, you know, some people always say, you know, this will never happen, or this is always the way it is. I think it's the words that you say to yourself, you know, the things that you want. I'm going to get this, instead of saying this will never come. And it's really good to practice these things, because I think that whatever we put out emotionally is what we get back. And that's how all of this works. It's the energy that we put out, and it's about us being in a really good state of consciousness, and us manifesting when we feel the best about ourselves, and not feel stuck, and not feel like, oh my gosh, this will never change. Because those are the things, if you say those things, they never will change. So thoughts become actions. And if ever you're interested in a reading, I do private readings, I do business readings. My website is www.mmastroVibes.com. And thank you very much for listening to my show tonight. Have a great evening.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for the Mini Medium with Stephanie Cowan. Live from tarotwithsteph.net. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites. AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is the Mini Media on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
All right. Hi, guys. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. And happy New Moon Day. And also happy Chinese Lunar New Year. This is the year of the snake, the wooden snake to be specific. So I am the mini medium on the A1R Psychic Radio and the beautiful Moonstruck TV. I'm so happy to be here and so excited for what's to come, because I'll tell you, if you are familiar with new moon energy, if you're familiar with even, the energy of the year of the snake and shedding all that old skin, this is going to be a beautiful day for readings. And the veil between us and the spiritual realm is so thin right now. I've had some beautiful connections today, so I cannot wait to see what happens with the callers. And then shortly after my podcast tonight, for some of you who may know, I do about a couple hours of free readings, and that is on my YouTube channel, which is Mini Medium 75. But you can also find all that information on my website at mini-, so it's the little dash, mini-medium.com. And all that information is also right down there as I can see it. So please feel free to hop on the website, and that'll have all of my social media stuff. So anyhow, I am so excited to see what the cards brought today too. So I'm actually a little proactive today. Surprisingly, it's just so not like my Gemini side. But the number that I've been seeing today, by the way, is the number 15. And so for some of you who may know, when I do, my podcast, or literally every day, I have, numbers that come up, signs and symbols, and whatever it may be. And the number 15 has been very, very strong. So it's going to be very connected to, like, the 15th would be a death date, a birth date, an age of 15 years ago. So just kind of keep that in mind. And I always say the number will always connect and resonate to either one of my callers tonight or even one of my readings later on as I do these free readings, tonight on my YouTube channel. So, all right, we'll keep that 15 in mind. And then as we are getting ready here to take my first caller, I'm going to read some of these beautiful messages that I pulled. As I said, I was proactive. I want to read to you let's do the Moonology card. So as I, shuffle the cards, I count out the number 15 or the 15th card. And so funny, the new moon in Gemini. So I'm a Gemini, and I love all those Geminis. Shout out to the Geminis. Shout out to those twins. But we are in the new moon in Aquarius, so many of you know, but Aquarius and Gemini are also air signs. So this one is very interesting, and it really fits and resonates with my life right now. So I hope it does for you. So then this Moonology card, they're just beautiful. The message, the new moon, the new moon, the Moonology Oracle message says, this is for everyone, that communication is key. I'll kind of hold that up here. So communication is key. And boy, if that is not a serious, truth, I don't know what else is, right? So you can see the beautiful card here. And the new moon in Gemini. So, and as many of you know, the new moon is where we're at that cycle of manifesting new things. So if your message is communication is key and you are wanting to manifest new things in your life, well, I suggest that you have some good communication, not just with, your family, your friends, but also have that beautiful communication with yourself, with your spirit guides, with the universe, or whoever you feel that your maker, your higher power is. And, I'll tell you, communication literally is key. And so I hope that resonates with many of you. I know it sure does for me. So now the other message I wanted to pull was an affirmation. And the affirmation, this is so beautiful. I'll show you, even these cards are just beautiful too. Have the beautiful butterfly here. And some of you may love the butterflies, as I do. Beautiful green butterfly. And green is the color of the heart chakra, by the way. And this card fits beautiful with opening up that heart chakra. So the affirmation says, I make a positive difference in the world, even with my smile and my words. Boy, I hope that comes across to all of you when you hop on my show, and or any of the amazing and gifted readers that are with A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. We really do this to make a positive difference, to spread, that good positive energy, because it is a ripple effect, my friends. When you put it out there, it is a ripple effect. So keep it positive with love and light and good energy. And I'll tell you, just a simple smile and a simple hello makes a huge difference, right? It's so funny. I will literally be in like a grocery store or just out and about or even driving and say hi or wave to someone, say hello. And do you ever notice that if you ever do that, they kind of awkwardly look at you like, do I know her? And I just kind of get a kick out of it, because here in Utah, as I'm out and about, my husband laughs and others say, well, you're Utah famous now. And I laugh and say, sure, but people will recognize me from, A1R, or they'll recognize me, from events or from YouTube, whatever it may be. And, but even then, I don't get a hello or a wave back. So I just recommend, if anyone smiles or waves at you, just at least smile back, it won't hurt. So anyhow, I hope that these little messages can really connect with you and make some difference in your lives. So I'm hoping I can make a difference in this wonderful person's life. So I have Terry, I believe Terry from Pennsylvania. Hi, Terry. This is the mini medium. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just visited Pennsylvania just in July of last year, and then around the November time last year. I loved it. We were in Gettysburg. It's beautiful, beautiful area.
Oh, I have family down there.
Oh, do you?
I'm a bit further north. Yeah.
Are you? Oh, I love it. My husband's a huge Philadelphia Eagle fan. And so I took him to a game at the stadium in Philly, and oh my gosh, he was in heaven. So I think Pennsylvania, just Gettysburg, the energy there, and being a medium, just connecting with all of the, the energy, but just the history. It was incredible. So anyway, one of my favorite places to visit. But this is all about you, my friend. How can I help you tonight?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Do I ask you questions? Is that how you work, or do?
Yeah, we have about, we usually have about 12-ish minutes. I know they're short and sweet. So I always say, some people call in and they say, well, a general reading. Some people ask for a specific topic, whether it's, health or work or kids. Some people ask to see if we can't channel a loved one who has crossed over. So whatever you're feeling, I'm happy to help you with.
Okay. Well, I'm coming up onto I'm coming up onto my second Saturn return at this point. And so I am, as far as work and like I'm right now, I'm empty nesting. I've had a huge transition over the last 2 years, and you know, I'm not sure where I'm. Like, I know where I'm at, and like I'm okay here, but like I'm not sure if you know, things are going to be changing for me, whether it's career wise or you know, if I'll you know, meet somebody and have a relationship, or have some you know, make some friends that are, you know, because I just moved down here, so yeah.
Okay. Okay, I love it. Okay, and I love that you have recognized, or that you're mindful in the shift, you know, that you are experiencing with, you know, within your journey, and I feel you're embracing it as best as you can. By the way, I do feel that you're taking it all in and trying to, you know, do the best with it, but also to learn from it. So I commend you for that. You may not feel that you are, but I feel you are. So
Oh no, I'm doing my best.
yeah, you are. I love it. I love it. And you really have a beautiful energy and just a positive outlook. And I can feel that coming from you. And I cannot express how important that is. You know, I always say, you know, life is obviously what we make of it, but it's really about also how we react and respond, you know, to change, or, you know, to even, you know, those not so great, you know, events that happen in our life. But, you know, all that energy we put out in the universe comes right back. So I say, you know, it's that karmic lesson, you know, and some are harder than others and some are beautiful. So, but with that said, I pulled a couple cards for you. I want to ask you really quick. You may have heard me mention that the number 15 had come up pretty strong today. Do you resonate with that number as a death date, a birth date, an age?
My one of my children, that's his birth date.
Okay. Wonderful. This is what I love to hear. Okay, so this is just some validation of our guides working together, and even to possibly bring up one of your children. So, or maybe just collectively. I know you said you're getting ready to be an empty nester, so I know that you know, that sure is a whole new world. It's a whole new transition.
Yeah, it sure
you know,
is.
I'll tell you. It's is this a son that was born on the 15th?
Yes.
Okay. So, and do you have 3 children? I keep feeling like there's 3 children around you.
I do.
Okay, beautiful. We're vibing well, my friend. Good psychic flow. So I'll tell you, I pulled a couple cards, and there's one that I love for you. I'll show on the screen here in case anyone wants to, if they're watching, this Ace of Cups card. And this Ace of Cups card that is right side up. The cup, when it's right side up, it really connects with the fact of you filling up that cup. It means that that cup's been empty and it's time to fill that cup up. And in this card, it sits right at the beautiful heart chakra, which we were just talking about a minute ago, or I was bringing up with the affirmation. The other thing that I love about this card for you is the ace. And the ace is a new beginning. So when you look at like a standard deck of cards, it goes ace, then 2, 3, 4, 5. And so being that this card is here, and then I pulled another for you, and it's this Hanged Man card. Now, the Hanged Man card did come out upside down or reversed. And so that's really connecting with your shadow work. Are you familiar with shadow work or heard of shadow work?
Oh yes, I've been working on my shadow work actually.
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. That's so great. Well, your cards are just validating your work, my friend. And sometimes just getting that validation is more important than anything, because sometimes we just want to know, are we on the right track? Am I making the right decisions? You know, and you know that the Hanged Man is all about connecting to your highest divine, connecting with your purpose, where you feel your soul, is needing to be per se. And, I feel for you, even, you moving to a new place a few years ago, that's the new beginning. And it's slowly filling up your cup. So I feel some of the things that I would just be mindful of for this year, especially that we're in this year of the 9. And the year of the 9 in numerology, that 9 means it's wrapping up old stuff. It's, mending old ties. It's getting ready for the year of the 1, which is next year, which is the ace, which is your beautiful year, my friend. So take this year as a year of taking everything of unfinished business, wrapping all that up, making sure all these ties are mended, because I feel like that's going to lead you into about the end of this year into the beginning of next year, where you're going to see new beginnings. And I'll tell you, you've got a beautiful new love connection that I do see about the end of the year. And you definitely want to be vibrating at a higher frequency when you meet your person. Otherwise, you're going to meet the person that is not the right one. So, I think this year, without a doubt, for you, hun, is a year of just keep getting rid of the old. This is what this year is about, the year of the snake, shedding the old and beginning this beautiful new journey. So, and what a beautiful day to do this, but on a new moon. We're in this new moon right now. So I want to bring up your son really quick, just because that 15 came up so strong. There is a sense of disconnect with him right now with you, and the disconnect can be geographical. So is he in a different state?
No, he's in the same state, but he's going through it right now. He's going through some things, and I'm just giving him space to go through it.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping you would say. And I just don't want you to feel frustrated. I know from a mom to a mom, we want to, be involved and try to be there to help them. But sometimes the best thing we can do is to just step back, and that's what I feel is best. And you're doing that. So, I would say, all in all, my friend, this year is going to be a year of growth, but also a year of some hard changes and choices of letting some people go from your life, cutting some people out. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't love them, that you don't want them in your life. It just means that you're not going to allow for their energy to affect yours any longer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I actually had a chat with myself about this over the holidays, and it was a tough holiday season for me. And then I said to myself, nobody's responsible for me but me, and for me to let myself be upset, that's just silly. So I made up my mind that from now on it's about me. I'm a grown up. My kids are grown up. And, they're not required to take care of me. And, so it's just a matter of, like I said, my youngest one moved out last January. And since then, it's been coming to terms with, okay, I'm by myself for like the first time in, 40 years. And, it's just been adjusting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And like I said in the very beginning, just kind of validating the fact that you are adjusting, I feel just beautifully, my friend. And so, I hope that this helped you and hopefully, gave you some, advice or some guidance. And sometimes just validation that you're doing great and you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. Can I just ask you, with my work life, is there am I staying where I'm at, or am I going to change positions, or am I going to would it be my best interest to look elsewhere?
I feel for at least this year, I would not make any big changes just because you have so much going on already that I feel the new year, next year, the year of that 1, right, is the year of where I feel the new beginning of work will come in. And even, about second quarter. So what's that? April, May, June. So I would say stay put for a little bit until you are feeling a little bit more balanced this year. And then I would say definitely next year, start looking into something different, only because I feel where you're at right now is just draining you. If not anything, it's boring you. If that probably sounds awful to say, but if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not boring. It's just that, it's not challenging either. So
challenging. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, I gotta grab my next caller, but please feel free if you're up tonight on my YouTube channel. I will be on doing a couple of hours of free readings. Feel free to hop on and let me know who you are, and we might be able to continue this.
All right, terrific. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, you're so welcome. Take care, and sending you much love and light this year.
All right, thank you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Okay, perfect. We've got time for another caller, and this is Dominique from Texas. Hi, Dominique. This is the mini medium. How are you?
I'm okay today.
Yes. How can I help you tonight, hun?
I guess a general reading on making sure I'm stepping in the right path at the right time.
Okay, sure. You got it.
I'm having to make some changes in my life, and I don't know. I'm a very kind of emotional person, so I tend to react to things.
Sure. Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely, hun. Let me see. I'm going to pull a couple cards for you as well to see what maybe cards will give us a bit of some validation. Are you a water sign or an air sign?
Water.
Water. Yep. I figured that's the first one I saw. All right. A couple things. So, in a general sense, but I'll try to, you've got a lot coming in. So, let me ask you really quick again. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I pick up numbers. Numbers come through to validate certain things that will connect me with my callers, or, later tonight when I do my free readings on my YouTube channel, these numbers will be very specifically connected to somebody. But the 15 has been coming up pretty strong, which would be like the 15th of a month as a death date, a birth date, the age of 15. 2015. Does this name or number resonate with you in any way at the moment?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. How do you connect with that number, hun?
My stepdaughter was born in 2015, and 2015 was a really rough year for me.
Okay. So this is where I want to kind of talk about, we got about 5 minutes, I know, but I'm going to tell you, I would love for you, if you're up tonight, hun, here in about an hour and a half, I'm going to be on my YouTube channel giving some free readings. I would love to continue just because you have a lot of stuff. But in the 5 minutes I've got here, the 15 being connected to such a big shift in your life, like you had mentioned, I do feel this is where kind of the milestone, if you will, or the pinnacle moment of change happened, or started, I should say. And so, I love that you're an emotional being. I want to tell you, water signs like the Pisces, they're very much meant to be emotional. That's just who you are. So don't ever apologize for that, because I'll tell you, I would rather see someone express their emotions than keep it bottled up. Okay. I think the biggest thing is how you come across, right? It's how it comes across. So you're very passionate. I can feel it. You're very protective. I can feel that. Also, this year, as I was mentioning to my last caller, it is the year of just wrapping up old stuff and mending old ties, so that when we get into next year, which is the year of the one, that's the year to start new beginnings and to start fresh. And it will feel so good to you, my friend. It will feel like, all right, I got a new fresh start. Let's just, hit the ground running. So I don't want you to really, as I feel for this year, I wouldn't say do too much. Just take some time to, focus on who you want to have in your life, who's not worth having in your life, what situations that you've got to just be done with. Even with your, I think you said your stepdaughter. Is that right, stepdaughter?
Yes.
Was it stepdaughter? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
With your stepdaughter, I know how difficult it is to be, a step parent, but I feel that you have embraced this beautifully. And I feel that you are doing the best that you possibly can to be in her life, regardless of the situation you're in right now. I want you to try to continue that, because, boy, there's a sense of her really giving back to you and teaching you some lessons, which I know sounds really kind of weird, but I love it, because it's also helping you to be more patient, to handle things a little bit, maybe more calm, if you will. One thing I want to tell you that I do see coming right about, I don't like to give exact dates. So second quarter of this year, well, maybe into third quarter, actually. So July, August, September, right about that time, hun, you've got some changes coming with work. So, and I feel that these are good, but you've just got to go with the flow, if that makes sense. Gosh, I've got like 90 seconds. This went so fast. Are you going to be up tonight, hun, in about an hour and a half?
Possibly, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Feel free to go to my website, mini, and then it's medium.com. You can see it on the screen too if you're watching on YouTube. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Mini Medium 75. Let me know who you are if you're able to. You got a whole lot coming in, my friend, including some souls that are on the other side. Boy, trying to step in. So, but all in all, I want you to just take a deep breath this year and just try to take care of unfinished business, okay? Okay. All right, hun. Well, I hope that helped you. I know it was very quick, very brief, but if you can hop on tonight, I'd love to see you. But have a beautiful night, and I hope to talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, hun. Bye-bye. All right, guys. See how fast it was? That's a wrap. It's a wrap. All right. Well, I cannot wait till next week and see what happens. But please, I hope to see you guys tonight on my YouTube channel. Like, again, Mini Medium 75, or go to my website, medium.com. And I will see you guys next week for sure. Okay. Bye, guys.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time time for Mystic Medicine with Dr. Nikisha Faye. Live from drnikki.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites. Ask1radio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Mystic Medicine on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Oh, hello, everybody. It is my absolute honour to be here in this community. I am Dr. Nikisha, a mystic mentor and spiritual guide. And so when I was approached about my work and if I would like to share and be a part of this community, I sat with it and the guides, and it was like, yeah, you know, it's such a beautiful opportunity to share, I guess, not only more of the work that I do, but also the information that comes through from the higher realms to help support people to remember that we are not our suffering, that we are made of light. We are divine light beings already. And I felt into how, you know, we might best be able to, you know, facilitate on this platform in this way. And the intention, sorry, I'm a little nervous. This is the first time that I've done it on this platform. So the intention is I sat with the guys this morning and asked what topic might I be able to share a little bit of a wisdom teaching around first, and then, you know, take a caller or two from the community to see how we can, you know, best support you in that way. The way that I work with the guides is maybe a little bit different to what you're used to, depending on, you know, what you're used to. So how the information comes through for me is in related to where there is energetic disharmony within your field of code. So your subconscious, which gets reflected in your energy. And what these disharmonies are a result of is faulty beliefs that we have about things. You know, sometimes they can come from our ancestral lines. Sometimes they can come from personal experiences. Sometimes they can come from other timelines. Sometimes they can come from community as well. You know, particularly if we're getting bombarded with stuff in the media. Anyway, what they do is they create imprints that are not in alignment with the true nature of our being. And that true nature, and I love this so much, is of love and light. And to always allow ourselves to come back to remembering that we are love and light as our core essence, that anything else that isn't that is what I call a distortion. Or it's a disharmony that's holding some type of illusion. And, you know, that's not to take away from any experience at all. Like, you know, we feel like we are in a lived experience when things are happening. But what is generally the greater reality is that it's happening for our evolution. And there can be patterns that are there ready for us to release. And then sometimes a pattern will continue to repeat to help us to be able to ultimately overcome, you know, that pattern. And so, you know, the work is woven a lot with work with the elements, with different light codes and forms, with, you know, wisdom awarenesses. And, you know, I'd also like to open the field at the beginning of every session. So if you do receive this transmission and you do have a question for the higher realm guides, type it underneath this transmission. And what I'll do is at the beginning of every transmission, I'll go back to questions that have been asked, and we can, ask the guides, things about the greater reality, maybe different constructs, anything at all really that's on your heart. I'm in full trust and faith that who comes to this transmission is who this transmission is for. And, the beautiful caller or two that, we have the opportunity, to share with as well each week in this spot. And so the topic that came up this morning was love and light. And they really encouraged me to share with you that basic premise that we are love and light. And so I'd like for you just to take a moment and breathe into that. And you might even say to yourself, I am love, I am light. Really allowing yourself to feel that, feel the depth of that awareness. Sometimes it's not possible to immediately because there can be layers of experience and all of these things that have us forget that. And so the work that, we facilitate is all about helping to remove those distortions and bringing those patterns to light so that they can be cleared and then reharmonized back to our true state. And I love that so much, our true state. And, which is of that peace and calm. And I know that's really hard to understand sometimes, particularly when there's all sorts of craziness going on around us. But in the greater reality as well is that our outside world is often mirroring either the faulty beliefs that are there or how we're feeling on the inside as well. And I'm sure you can all relate in a way too. When we're feeling like really chaotic and crazy on the inside, what happens on the outside? Everything and anything, right, that could possibly create more chaos gets magnetized because energy magnetizes itself. That's one of the basic fundamental laws of universal energy, is that it magnetizes itself. And, so when we can allow ourselves to step back from the immediacy of what's happening and sit within our own inner wisdom and ask what's here for us to support our growth, or, what could benefit us to create change. Often the stuff is happening to create change. And then sitting in that beautiful quiet space and tap into your inner knowing, this beautiful inner knowing that we all have. Nobody is separate from that because we are all divine light. We just often forget that. And, it's mostly the doubt and disbelief that keeps us separate from usually trusting our intuition. So I'm pretty sure if you've come to this transmission and you're in this community, that you are intuitive. That's why you know that there is so much more possible than the black and white basic, 3D or physical world. And, the biggest hurdle, and I experienced it as well for a long time, before I was able to help clear and all the different layers of disbelief, was me just not trusting it. Like, I'm sure you've had that experience. Like, how often do you get this gut feeling about something, and then, all of a sudden your thinking mind tries to take control and talks you out of why that's not logical. And how could you possibly know that? And then all of a sudden, ta-da, you're shown that you're actually right. It used to happen to me all the time, and I used to get so annoyed with myself, and, which, really led me, down the path of discovering more, wanting to know more about the greater reality. And so, I've spent decades through all the old texts and traditions and all of that sort of thing that, has pretty much warped me into the space to be able to, hold that space in a way where I trust and have faith about the information coming through, because it's not about me, it's actually for the benefit of all. Anyway, that's enough of my babbling for the moment. Do let me know if you have any questions for the higher realm guides, and we're more than happy to get on to share that with you at the beginning of the next transmission. But right now, we have a beautiful caller on the line, Jeanette, sorry. It's my accent. Hello, Jeanette.
Hello. Yes.
Hi. Hi. Lovely to have you here live with me on the very first show here in this community.
Oh, hi. Nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, thank you. You too. So was there anything particularly that you'd like to bring forward, or was there something that we can support you with?
Just like in general, I just want to know.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
In general, it just
in
like
general?
want to know what's going on. Yes.
Yeah, no problem at all. So I'm just going to take a moment just to connect in with your energy. And what I'm being shown is that there is a bit of energetic constriction around your throat. And what it feels like as well is that it's related to a bit of a closing down in your heart. And so it feels like being a beautifully sensitive, I can feel how beautiful and kind and compassionate you are. And sometimes that can be taken advantage of by people who are, sometimes that way inclined for whatever reason. And what can happen is that it causes us to create restriction around the heart. And then when we disconnect, or we have a restricted energy flow through our heart for protection, that what it can do is it limits the capacity to be able to share how you truly feel as well. So there's just a holding in of energy. Are you able to relate to that at all?
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to take another minute to see. So what I'll get you to do, so your throat is also holding a story that's related to an ancestral pattern. And so what happens with these ancestral patterns is that they are repeated generation after generation. And so it's no one's fault. And what happens is that it's just witnessing of this through the family line is then taken on as that's like a best way kind of to behave or to act in the world, because that's where we learn in the first few years of our life. That's actually where we do take on a lot of our family programming. Interestingly, in the first few years of life, we lack discernment between self and others. And so that's actually where we pick up a lot of family patterns, interestingly, and we take them on, as our own. And so what I'm connecting in with is that it's a maternal line thing. And there's a belief around there's a belief around what you have to say may not be that important.
Okay.
Can you resonate with that?
Yes, that's right.
And so I'll just take another moment. And yeah, so it feels like it started 5 generations ago. And what happened is, like, your great-great-great-great-grandmother came to take on this belief because there was a lot of stress in her environment, and it wasn't really that what she had to say wasn't valued or important. It was the fact that the stress was creating the space that it wasn't possible for what she had to say to be received. So just breathing into that for a moment. And so do you feel like you'd like to release that pattern now?
Yes, it's just like I feel like my grandma, my grandmother was passed away. It was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I just want to know if she's still with me.
Okay, yes. Yes. So what we can do is, if you'd like, we can untangle that thread, that faulty belief thread, that belief that what you have to say isn't important. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
All right. So what I'll get you to do is imagine that you're turning around and imagine 5 generations of your maternal line standing behind you, and they're all in light. So it's all their light forms. And then seeing a big golden rope. Are you able to connect with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'll get you to do is imagine you're grabbing that rope and you're just gently starting to pull it towards you. And it's releasing each of those ancestors from that pattern. It's just releasing the pattern. So the golden rope is the pattern that's not benefiting anybody, because it was a belief that was taken on that was a misperception about what was happening. And so as it gets to your grandmother, she's holding the rope. Were you able to connect with that? The grandmother in white.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave you now for a moment because she has a message for you. Just opening to receive with your heart. Just breathing into that. Were you able to receive something?
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. And she wants you to know as well that she loves you very much and that she thinks you're making the right decision as well, whatever's sitting there for you. And so now as you continue to pull that cord, pull this pattern, releasing your ancestors from this pattern as well. And as it gets through to your mother to release that, the pattern dissolves. And so I'll just get you to see that golden rope completely dissolving, and then bringing your awareness into your throat space, and imagine you're breathing in and out of that space. How's that feeling for you?
I feel better.
Yeah, and so what I'll get you to do for integration work is to every day, just for 5 minutes, imagining a beautiful blue light in your throat and humming. And as you do that, it's going to help to reopen the energy of your throat so that you're more free to speak, and from your beautiful heart space as well. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Thank you, Janet. I've just got Wendy on the line. Hey, Wendy.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, well, thank you. Hey, you sound like me. Have you got an Aussie accent too?
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina. Well, I live in North Carolina, but I'm from South Carolina.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I heard a bit of an Aussie accent there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is there, I haven't got much time left. Sorry, I wasn't sure how long, I mean, you know, how long's a piece of string, right, when these things are unfolding. But yes, how could we briefly share something with you?
Are you able to connect with people?
Connect with?
People that have passed.
No, I don't work in that frequency realm.
Okay, well, whatever you want to tell me. I'm open to it.
Do you have anything going on at the moment that we could share some wisdom around?
I've got a lot of stuff going on. I had a daughter that passed about 10 months ago. I've got a lot of stuff going on.
Okay. I've already got something coming forward for you. So what the guides are showing me is the energy of your solar plexus. And so the solar plexus lives right in the belly. And what it holds is our fire. And sometimes the fire, an internal fire, can dwindle when we are doing things against our will. And so that's even things like people pleasing and doing things that we don't really want to. And what happens when we leak this energy is it leaks the energy of your will. And it's that the will is related to your sense of self, so the self-esteem. And so the more energy we leak, the more difficult it is for us to be able to stand in our own empowerment. Is this resonating with you?
Got a lot of internal issues that I'm trying to heal from. You know, I spend a lot of time, you know, with just me and my kids, and you know, I kind of try to reflect and kind of. I think I'm healing, but I don't really know if I'm really doing it or not.
Yeah, well, know that you are. Know that you are. And so what the homework for you is for you to come into your solar plexus, so come into your belly. And this is the same for all viewers out there. If anyone can relate to the story, and that's what I love about these sharings with the guides, is they can be translated, because so many of us do hold similar patterns. And so Wendy, what will be really useful for you is to every day connect in with the fire in your belly. Have you heard of that term before?
No.
So we have a fire in our belly, and what it is it's our internal fire. And when it is dwindled or small, we doubt ourselves a lot, and it takes away from our purpose as well, really, our mission, because we sit in this feeling of unsureness. And so what will really help you in your reflections is to imagine a fire in your belly. Can you do that? Imagine that there's a little beautiful fire, just a contained fire, not a big burly fire, but just a empowered fire burning within you. And just breathing into that. And as you breathe into it, it's tending to those flames. How's that feeling for you?
Relaxing.
Yeah, and so as you sit with the flames from that space, I want you to spend a bit of time thinking about the gift that you are to so many people. Think about all the beautiful things that you do for others all of the time. And as you do, breathe that into your fire. So it feels like, this self-acknowledgement, allowing yourself to see how much of a gift you are to everybody around you is going to help you to hold more of your own inner fire. And then from that space, be able to trust your decisions, trust your intuition, because I feel that you are intuitive and you do receive information, but there's a doubt around that as well.
Yeah.
Can you resonate with that?
Yeah.
And so sit with the fire, work with the fire for a few weeks, maybe even a month or two. But just sit with it 5 minutes every day at least. So 5 minutes is good. But every day, because what it does is it starts to recode the usual habitual patterns that you have. So if you can sit with your fire every day and allow yourself to reflect how you've been an awesome human to those around you, is really going to help to bring that fire of empowerment, which is then going to help you to trust yourself more and, to do more things that you want to for yourself as well. And hopefully that's helpful. I think I got 10 seconds left to go.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, beautiful Wendy. Wow. Great. All right, beautiful ones. Thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Don't forget, leave any questions if you'd like the guides to share anything specifically about the greater reality, about anything, and we'll do that at the beginning of the next show. Love you lots. Mwah.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for the Hallie Elise Show with Hallie Elise. Live from HallieElise.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is the Hallie Elise Show on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome, everyone. As always, I am delighted and excited to be here with you this evening. We were having a little issue with the visual part of things earlier. Hopefully it's on screen. We were teasing about how if everything fell over, I could go visual if I said the right thing. I just have to think about that. What exactly would be the right thing? Curse words? Prayers? I doubt prayers, right? Can you imagine? The ring light goes over, the camera goes over, and I sit there and I pray. I don't know if that would be of any value, really. My goodness. So, our world at large is really interesting. A friend of mine, and some of you may be familiar with him, Joseph Labruto. He is a psychic medium, does his own thing. We've been on each other's stages before and shared time together, know each other for quite a bit. Anyways, I was reading one of his posts today. He was talking about the duality that exists in this moment in time and the lens that we look through. And it's really so apropos. You want to hear me talk about that. And in respect to, there's a right, a left, and up and down, and back, and forth. You got the picture. The point being, even now, whether you love what is taking place in our world, or you are horrified by it, or you sit somewhere in the middle, you see it from your own perspective. And what's really fascinating about this is when we see things from our perspective, we're working with the left hemisphere of our brain. That's the part of us that is very linear, directed, very concrete, very, if you will, flatlined. Things are absolutes when we think in terms of that left side of the brain. But that's the side of the brain that we look at measurement by. Whereas the right part, the right hemisphere, we tend to see things in an abstract form. We see creatively. We allow our intuition to guide us. Keep in mind here that we all use both sides of our brain. It's just a matter of in what percent, as well as in what context. In respect to what's taking place in our world at the moment, and I will say in the US as well as in Canada, there is lots going on in respect to what's taking place as far as election and where things are going. And again, different lenses, people tend to see things differently. I just want to remind that if you feel very passionate about something and for whatever reason you feel disrupted, stop for a minute, take a breath, get quiet, go within and ask yourself, am I safe? Sit, feel, yes, no, maybe, run for the hills, everything's fine, whatever comes through, but start checking in with you. Now, of course, you can call me people like me that work psychically, people that are like me that work with, whether it's the macrocosm of the universe or other modalities, other ways of seeing things. You still should check in with you. You are the person who actually chooses what takes place in your life. That doesn't mean that you can always take charge of what's around, but it does mean that you can choose what happens to you in the moment. Go within. If there's any sort of doubt about anything, if you're finding that you're on overwhelm, take a breath, go within, because truly that will help guide you. We can all listen to the news and we listen to friends and family and their views. Your view is what is most important only if it is genuine, if it is authentic. And that simply means take the ego and say, you know what? I know you're there. I know you have an opinion, but for a minute, let me feel what's true to me. Okay, that said, I believe we have, if I read that correctly, Melody on the line. Is that from Tennessee?
Hi. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I think I'm going to try to adjust our sound here to be able to hear you better. Let's see if that works a little bit better. Hopefully, yes. Did you have a particular area of focus you wanted to concentrate on this evening? Did you have a specific question, or did you want me to just share what comes up?
No specific questions. Could we just share, could you share what comes up?
Sure, we can go that route. Absolutely. All right. Well, the first thing that pops up is you tend to be a very joyful person by nature. And yet I feel like the last 5-6 months, you haven't quite been yourself. I get this inner turmoil taking place. I feel like there's ambiguity. I can actually use the word self-doubt a little bit, as if you're not trusting yourself as much as you have in the past. And I feel like this is more of an energetic cycle than it is something that is supposed to dictate your life and what takes place from this moment forth. The overall impression, again, 5-6 months of not feeling quite yourself. All right, we're in February, March, April. Okay, this feels to me as if this energetic cycle, and when I say that has nothing to do with the planets, it has to do with you personally, feels as if this is leaving your field, which is a good thing, meaning things are going to shift for you in the next couple of months here. And things that you were not feeling so confident over, you're going to find there's more peace connected. Things that you were wondering if you could still do, you will find that there is a renewed sense of inspiration that is going to come in. So on a very personal level, there is this nice little transformation in how you're going to be seeing your world and how you're feeling in connection to your world. That's a good thing. Okay, that said, I keep getting stomach. I'm going to say from about 2 inches above the navel all the way down to almost where the pubic bone is, so that whole middle section there. So that's solar plexus going into sacral as far as chakras, energy centers. Feels as if not feeling quite righted, excuse me. And that is connected with what I was just saying as far as cycle. But there's also a physical corollary there. I would say be really mindful of any sort of discomfort that's taking place with your stomach. Take a look at what your diet is like of late. I feel like it's kind of sporadic. It's not as consistent as it used to be. It also feels as if it would behoove you to focus better on not only like the times of day that you're eating, but also what you're eating. That makes sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Good, because there is definitely that connection between what's going on energetically and also physically. Now, this overall sense here also, I'd say within 2 months, you should start to see a nice little depart from how you've been feeling. But if you really want to feel great, I feel like walking is probably the best thing for you. Even if you just have your car a few feet further away from where you're going, and you have to walk a little further every day. I take extra steps doing your normal things, because I'm just getting, again, that middle section of the body needing, if you will, more movement, more flow. I keep hearing warm too. Anything that's warm is going to be better for you right now than cold. So for instance, if you would like a glass of cold iced tea, see if you can manage 1 ice cube instead of a lot of ice cubes, or think in terms of warm room temperature at least. If you can do hotter than that, that would be great. But it feels as if there's something going on here with that upper digestive system. I feel like, and I'm hearing fruit too, needing more fruit overall, or more, I'm going to say stay away from sugars, but fruit, as far as natural fruit, feels like that should be fine. I would honestly, I would stay away from honey. I would stay away from sugar. I would stay away from maple syrup. Any of that type of thing, at least for the next couple of months. If you're able to do that, I feel like you're going to see yourself as a new person. All of a sudden, it's like, ooh, I feel really good. I'm moving better. I'm more comfortable. So that's something to consider again with the walking. Extra steps wherever you can. That's going to be huge for you. All right. Also, get somewhat of a crook in the neck on left side. It feels to me as if I went from the base of the neck, it's 1, 2, 3, about 3 inches towards the shoulder. There's a little wonky feel there, but I feel like that's not injury. It's not even any sort of ill. To me, the overall feeling with that is connected to how you're sitting during the day as well as the way you're sleeping. So try to catch yourself and make sure that you move during the day so that you kind of right yourself, so that you're not leaning too much on one side. And the same thing with going to sleep. Make sure your pillow is supporting specifically your neck and left shoulder. Okay, also I'm going to stick with this here for just a moment, because that area of the body, yes, I'm getting physical attributes. However, mind, body, spirit, there is a connection to feeling a little overwhelmed, a feeling of having to take on too much, a feeling of, I won't say being stressed so much as depressed, as in like almost somebody pushing down, stopping you. So with that, I'm going to say, as you're straightening up, if you will, in your seat, or straightening up as you go to sleep, think in terms of, I'm a very powerful being, and I can say what I need to say, and I can do what I need to do, because you are a powerful person. And again, your core essence is joy. Your core essence is not stress, worry, feeling left out. Just the opposite. I feel like you go out of your way to make the people you care about feel good. And it doesn't necessarily mean family or separately friends. It feels like just anybody that you care about. You go out of your way to create, I'm going to use the word sweetness. It needs to come back to you a little bit. You have any questions as far as this?
No questions. No.
Okay. So keep those things in mind. And I want to focus on money, if I may.
Yes.
Okay, May, June, July, August, but more July, August. So May starts things shifting where you're going to notice more money overall, but May and June are kind of like trickling. When you hit July, it feels as if there is much more. By the time you get to August, it feels like it's more. So to me, this is either opportunity that is coming in that is bringing more money, or this is money that is due you that is coming in and showing up more. But again, at the latter part of this 3-4 month period, though noticing it or seeing some of it at the beginning part. Okay. You hear the word husband. Husband, yes. And I get, it's interesting though, but I get space in between. So to me, this is representative of either being married and having, if you will, a resistance or a space between you and that person, or it is a matter of a husband coming in a bit later. But I'm not feeling that it's the latter of the two. I feel like it's more a matter of distance or separation or space, perhaps lack of communication. And it doesn't necessarily have to be husband as in married to somebody, but somebody who, if you will, stands in, holds space in that way. In other words, somebody that is significant in your life, who would be in your world, who could have similar responsibilities to someone who you might be married to. This makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. That space, if you will, that I'm feeling resistance, I simply want to say, focus more attention on your wellness and focus on, it's going to sound a little corny, what things can you do in the other person's company that still make you feel good? Maybe it's baking an apple pie and you both have a slice. I mean, like, it doesn't have to be something real complex, but it does feel as if finding more joyful moments to create more inner contentment than outer. Because again, I'm going to go back to this like period of time, 5, 6, 7 months here. It seems as if things have been off kilter, and I feel like this is a part of it. And yet I feel like over the next little period, it is shifting. So I guess the biggest thing that I could leave you with this evening is patience. You know, sometimes that's not easy. Did you have any questions, hon?
No questions. Thank you. Thank you for the message.
All right, then. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I think I have Kim on the line.
Yep, this is Shay.
Hi, how are you?
I am fine.
Did you have a particular question to address this evening?
Yeah, I just want to know if you can bring my son through.
Okay, I am not a psychic medium. I sometimes get a sense of those on the other side, but I'm not specifically a medium. So I will do my best to focus and see what comes through for you if you like.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so the biggest thing that comes up, interestingly enough, is moving, almost like running, or I'm going to try to put this into words versus a feeling. It's as if in my mind's eye, there's a car speeding. There's this fast movement. I'm getting the word running, but it's fast movement. I feel as if prior to your child leaving, there was, again, I keep getting a lot of fast movement. I'm trying to put this into words for you. I'm going to call it high anxiety, for lack of a better way to phrase this. I'm just trying to ascertain if this was directly from your son or surroundings. I feel like it had more to do with surroundings that creates this, but I could say that what was prior to his passing is not a problem at this moment, meaning what I'm getting at this moment is stillness, peace, quiet. There's a feeling here of understanding what took place and it no longer being an issue. I hope this makes some sense. I hope this makes some sense to you, hon, because I'm getting like disjointed pieces. And I'm just trying to share what I'm getting. The other part of this that I get is very heart-based, meaning I do not get anger. I do not get sadness. Again, I get that stillness, but I feel like it's connected to the heart. So whatever transpired before that brings me that restlessness, that speed, the anxiousness, none of that is there. And really the only thing that I'm getting at this particular point in time is a sense of heart connection. I feel like if you want to communicate with your son, the best way to do that is to light a candle, get still, and just sit with the candle and ask questions and just kind of get quiet and listen. I feel like your son's voice will come through. I don't know if you've tried anything like that yet, but it's a very gentle way of letting loved ones know that we're here. And the reason for the candle is light. We are all, if you will, from spirit, in energy of light. As we always hear, like love and light from people or light beings, that type of thing, because we all exist within that vibration together, especially when we're on the other side. We have much more awareness of that's who we are and the level that we vibrate at. So again, if you're comfortable doing so, light a candle. I would pick either white, silver, or pink. Pink has to do with unconditional love. White has to do with divinity. And silver has to do with a combination of divinity and also neutrality. So if you had any sort of feelings of unrest, it would help create peace there. And again, something easy that you can do, okay? The other thing that you can do is you can speak out loud and know that you're heard, and then just be open to getting messages. And that might be, for instance, you get ready for bed and something out of the corner of your eye catches and you realize it was something that belonged to your son, or it's a photo or something that you're not normally paying attention to, but all of a sudden it seems to get your attention. Oftentimes loved ones on the other side communicate through things around us versus appearing and magically talking. And the reason I say it that way is because we see so many movies where we have these corporeal forms that seem to take place from vapor. And the truth is, there's a difference in the energy that exists with them when they pass versus being here. And it's a lot more difficult than it is in the movies for them to show themselves. Though it seems that communicating as far as for us to hear, or communicating as far as us seeing things, is a lot easier.
Right. I was sitting on the couch last night, and I thought I saw him walking up the stairs, like getting all, and I just looked, and I thought, and then nothing was there, and I was like, oh, it's strange. Very strange.
Right. But what you're probably not seeing is him standing directly in front of you, right?
Right. But sometimes I feel lots of cold. Like, how could be completely warm, but then I get a really, really cold sensation on, like, my shoulder, arm, or leg or something.
Exactly. And that's when he is around. So again, it's like there are sensations, things that we see, things that we hear that let us know that they're present.
I just want to find out. I have unanswered. There's just a lot of things surrounding his death, and I don't have all the answers to them, and I'm just trying to find them. I'm in search of that.
The biggest thing really and truly that I keep getting, and I was trying to explain it before because it was so odd. It wasn't like a typical sensation of speed, of anxiousness or overwhelm, or I'll put it this way. It did not feel as if your son, for instance, laid down, went to sleep and didn't wake up. Like, just went to sleep. That's not the feeling I get here. I feel like there were more extenuating circumstances around him when he passed. But again, I do want to reiterate, he is not feeling those things now. I get the sense that it's so important that he wants you to know. Like, in other words, there is no need to worry in this moment. And the answers that you want, they will come. I feel like it's going to take roughly a year and a half for everything to come through, but you will get your answers.
I hope so. I search every day. I just know something went wrong, and the way that people act and avoid me, and I just got a real uneasy feeling, and I've got to find it.
The biggest thing that I tell you from this, because I keep coming back to this sense of angst that's involved around this, is I get two people creating that angst for your son. I feel like it wasn't necessarily intentional, but it was, I'll say, unkind. Again, be open to hearing answers. They will come. But I feel like it's roughly a year and a half period. And I feel like you don't get everything all at one time. I feel like there's drips and drabs that are going to come through from different sources, but you will have your answers. And I feel like there's one person.
People too. It's funny that you say that, because I feel that as well. Two people around them don't want to talk.
Correct. I get one in particular, though, who is going to reveal some information, but I don't feel like it's time yet. Pardon?
Does Vinny? He wanted to tell me something, and then he just stopped communicating with me.
I was just going to say, Vinny wants to say something, but Vinny is afraid. A little later down the line, you will get some information from him.
I hope so. I mean, he blocked me on Messenger and text and everything.
He's just being self-protective.
My son died in a sober home for veterans, and he was in his bed for over 24 hours dead. and they're supposed to check on him. And the worker there didn't like him. And when I went to show him his obituary card, when I got there, he goes, "I didn't like your son," and he flicked it at me. And ever since then, I had been very suspicious of what went on over there.
Again, I get there being a lot of rushing, almost like racing beforehand. But I know in my heart of hearts, you will have your answers. It's just not right now. Your best bet, as I said, light a candle, ask questions, be patient. The answers will come. And one of these people will show up and say something, and that Vinny person will come around and give you some of your answers. It's just not time yet. And I wish I could say it's going to be immediate. It's not. It's a matter of people that were observing what was taking place, not feeling afraid or not being worried to be able to share information. And again,
and when you mean Russian, by trying to clean up everything around the scene and make it look like my son died and they just threw him in his room and let him die so nobody would get in trouble, that kind of thing? Or the person that was working there did that because maybe he died in the bathroom and they didn't want him in the common bathroom, so they threw him in his bedroom.
I just get he did not pass quietly in his bed. And again, more information will be revealed. Just try your best to get into peaceful mode on a consistent basis and just be open to the information that comes. It will come. And it's going to come, like I said, drips and drabs from different sources, but it will come. I wish you well, honey. And I thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take good care. You know, it's never easy when we lose somebody we love, especially under suspicious circumstances. And I really feel like sometimes when answers don't come immediately, it's because the universe at large, if you will, God, the divine, doesn't feel we're ready for it. So oftentimes we have to have patience. This applies to many areas in our life, doesn't it? The best thing we can do at any given time is take a breath, get centered, be open to truth, and do our best not to get to a place of blame, but again, to stay open. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I wish all of you well. We'll do it again next week.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for Understanding Spirit with Mary Shapano. Mary Shapano. Live from MaryVCircles.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Understanding Spirit on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Understanding Spirit. I'm your host, Mary. I hope you're all doing really well. I will, as usual, start with the 3-card for the collective. Remember, take what resonates, and if it doesn't resonate with you, just leave it. Try to focus on whether you are drawn to card 1, card 2, or card 3. Okay, so just give you a hot second to do that. If you are drawn to card 1, the card that I've drawn for you is this one. It says Throne on it, okay? What's written here on the card is you're in control of your destiny. And what I get around this is like that it might be time for you to do some soul searching, listen to, you know, your little inner voice that tries to guide us, and so many times we ignore it. But it's also time to take control of your destiny, you know, and your future, as it suggests in the card as well. I'm also being told to tell you not to create any false illusions in your head, whether that's fears, anxiety for yourself, you know, telling yourself that you can't do something. So, you know, if you need to step back for a minute, step back, or however long you need, and have a good think, and then come out feeling confident and, you know, with a plan of what you want for yourself. Okay. If you've chosen card 2, card 2 says renewal. It is this card here, and it has written here, embrace the opportunity for fresh beginnings. This card is giving you encouragement to embrace any new ideas or to think of new ideas. And I'm also getting told to tell you to sort of learn from past and current situations, and to sort of like work through them in a more graceful sort of way. Don't allow yourself to get worked up over anything, okay? And just take everything on board and learn from it as you move ahead. If you have chosen card 3, it is this card here. It is Book of Shadows, and it's got written here, all the answers you seek are within. The obvious thing to say is, you know, people say, oh, look within yourself and get the answers and blah, 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 all of that stuff, right? However, what I'm getting around this card is to make decisions without too much emotion. I feel like at this moment, you've got to get all the facts, and while you may want to be compassionate and look at it emotionally, it's you have to think more with your head right now. I'm also getting be independent around this, and don't lean too much on other people's assistance. Yes, you can get some guidance, but because I feel like you will get recognition for this. You know, people will be like, oh, you did a good job. It was a great solution to this. However, it fits and resonates with you. Okay, I hope that's helped. I'll go to my caller. I have Nita on the phone.
Hi.
Hi, have I pronounced your name properly?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, did I pronounce your name properly? Nita.
Did. Yes, you did.
Okay. Nita, it's nice to speak with you. How can I help you today?
Okay, hold on a second. It my Facebook popped up. Hold on a second. Let me turn it on mute. There we go. Thank you.
That's okay. How can I help you today?
Hi. So I was just wanting to inquire about just I guess the general, like what's next for me. I have a couple of things that are up in the air right now, and I am unemployed at the moment. So just wondering what's in the air as far as general.
Okay, so you said you've just got a few things up in the air at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Let me see what comes up for you.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. Nita, while I'm just shuffling my cards here, have you had some issues lately or in the past where there have been some deception or some lies, and you've wanted to know the truth about things? That's come to me straight away.
Well, yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
Spirit, yeah, okay. Because Spirit is saying to me to tell you that this is the kind of thing you have to avoid further conflict, or to resolve conflict. You have to, move on, compromise, or just end the conflict and the whole thing altogether. And they're just saying for you to surround yourself with people, family, friends that you trust, because I am seeing betrayals, heartbreak, some loneliness. I feel like there's a mature male around you that can assist you here as well. Regarding having like things up in the air, I do feel like it's a time for you, I want to say releasing dreams and fulfilling wishes to you. I feel like you've gone through a lot, and now is the time, or you've had a long time to work this out, and now is the time to sort of like keep moving on. I'm getting a lot of movement around you as well. So whether you're looking to, and movement is not just travel or holiday, although it can be, but it can also be you moving forward. I do see you like daydreaming about all the things that you want to do, but you're not placing them in reality yet. All right, like everything is still being kind of like wishful thinking at this stage. Does that make sense for you?
It does make sense, I guess.
Because spirit are like the new life is there for you. All right, I can see it around you, and I can see freedom. I see like financial freedom. Are you looking to change jobs or go into self-employment? Because I'm seeing you working on a craft as well, or broadening your learning, your skills.
I would love to go into self-employment. Yes.
You would love to? Yeah. Well, I feel like you are, but I feel like you've still got more work to do around that. I feel like there's all success for you, Nina. Like wherever I look on your path forward, I just see delays are only there, whatever you delay for yourself, because you're not like kind of taking a step forward to do it. You're still in the this is what I want to do phase. And that's why I see it as, you said there are things up in the air, whereas Spirit showed it to me like a lot of like daydreaming kind of thing of all the things you want to do. But they're like, well, it's time to do it. You've got to get yourself out of that phase and start pushing forward. And I am hearing more learning. All right. So whatever it is you need to like upscale your skills or whatever to get yourself to that position of being self-employed, but I do see self-employment for you. So certainly work your way in that direction. And I just see that it's the plan that you're lacking. Does that make sense? Yeah, like you know what you want, but you haven't put the plan in place. That's what Spirit is telling me. So,
that's true. It's like one thing at a time. Like, you know, I've been dealing with some issues with my home, and it's draining. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you need, being told you need to find like a mentor, somebody that can help you navigate out of this. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay somebody, right? Sometimes, you know, somebody that might not know the area that we want to work in, but they might have their own business and they can help you like how to get going. Because I'm just hearing she needs a mentor, all right? So just maybe find somebody, you know, friends, family, you know, friend of a friend, somebody you can have a chat with and just see how to get going, how to plan it. I'm also getting from Spirit to tell you to give yourself a break, all right? And I'm not just talking time off, you know, holiday. I'm talking like don't be so hard on yourself, okay? So just you know, it's kind of like I want you to kind of put the brakes on the way you've been thinking and like reevaluate, reassess, like change the way you're thinking so that you can get what you want. Because I do see you as a business woman. I see you moving forward quite successfully with this. I do see you as a nurturing person in the home as well. And I do see that there's a lot of pressures from every area in the home front. But you also got to work on yourself. You must take time for this as well if you want it to come to fruition, Neda. All right?
to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for a Love Life with Katana Star. Katana Star. Live from katanastar.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, ask1radio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Love Life on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hey everyone, how you going? I'm Katie and this is Love Life, and we're coming up to Valentine's Day next week. Pretty exciting stuff. And you know what? It's also going to be a full moon. You know, like in Australia it's going to be on the 13th, but in the US I believe it will be the 14th, because I think these are a day behind with the moon cycles. But anyway, how exciting. You know, people manifesting love and wanting love. Some aren't. Some are wanting anything but. But quickly on that note, I wanted to share something with you. You know, I've had a few clients in the past ask me about love spells. Now, don't freak out. I'm not talking wicked Queen Snow White mirror work here. I am talking, though, things like setting intention with pure intention, and love spells that are about that do no harm, that do not mess with free will. Work, not only work, but they're amazing. And, you know, you can find resources on an array of sources, from TikTok to YouTube to Wikipedia, whatever. Find something that resonates for you, but find something also that, like I say, I go by the rule of do no harm, okay, and don't mess with free will, not only because it's inauthentic, also because do you really want someone loving you that you know that they don't really love you? They're just under this kind of obsessive energy from a spell that you've put out there to attract them. You don't want that, you know. And if you do, well, each to their own, but ultimately it won't make you happy. So that's why I say, you know, put it out there, get a piece of paper on a new moon, preferably. But now's the perfect time because we're coming into the waxing givers phase, leading up to the full moon. That's when you want to do this manifesting. This is where you want to, you know, get yourself a bit of paper, write down all the things that you want in a partner, okay? Something that you see yourself being happy in a relationship with. And, you know, write. It only has to be a couple of dot points. And you know what? You get yourself some rose quartz or jade. You know, I mean, our Wiccan and pagan ancestors didn't have access to all of these crystals and things like that we do today, but they do help with intention. Hi, Becca, I'll be right with you, darling. I'm just doing this quick blurb about manifestation with love magic, and then I'll be right with you. Light a red candle, that helps with intention. Write down a very simple spell. Doesn't have to rhyme, doesn't even have to make sense, but if it makes sense to you of what you want to put out there, you light that candle and then you say the words. Oh, before you do that, you need to do a little bit of cleansing work first, but that's another section I can talk about another time. You know, you can cast a circle, you can cleanse your energy, visualize white light around you, all that sort of stuff, and then put it out there to the universe. Say it, think it, sing it, whatever, and then you can burn it with a red candle, or you can cast it into a fire, you can bury it, you can do whatever. Just put it out there to the universe and believe that this is what you are manifesting. And the universe will then bring to you what you're asking for, because someone out there is wanting you. Someone out there wants exactly what you have to offer. And they're manifesting you too. So what that spell will do is bring you together in a healthy way. Now, how are you, Becca? You still with me?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, all right. Thanks. I was doing a little blurb about Valentine's Day and those that want to manifest love. That's how you can do it. But like I said, there's an array of things that you can find online, and find something that resonates with you with good intention and that does no harm or affects free will. Now, what can I do for you this evening, Becca?
I'm just in need of a reading. I'm kind of just have some decisions to make, and I'm just not sure which way to go for sure. Kind of in love, and then just general.
Okay, so would you just like a general guidance reading from the cards on what you need to know, or would you, if you think of a specific question, feel free to jump in at any point, because I do tend to start rambling once I get into these readings. Does that sound
okay?
Right?
Yep,
Now,
that sounds right.
did you say that was going to have an emphasis on love and relationships? Because I can certainly put intention into that. Or do you just want general guidance?
Yeah, in the relationship.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm reading with the Lover's Path Tarot deck today, which is by Chris Wilder, a very popular author of the Goddess deck as well, which is a beautiful deck. And this one is a really lovely deck. It's it captures the traditional romance stories of, you know, Romeo and Juliet and Tristan and Isolde and all that sort of stuff. But I won't waffle on about too much about this deck, but it is lovely. All right. So, Becca, I'm asking the cards right now for what you need to know in regards to love and relationships. Okay? Does that sound okay?
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. So we have got fertility. We have also got the Princess of Staves. Okay, now that she is the page of wands in the traditional deck. We've also got the Prince of Staves. Okay, and that is the Nine of Staves and the Ace of Staves. You've got lots of staves here. You've got lots of fiery energy here. You've got lots of passion here. You've got a potential pregnancy here as well, okay? Now, you don't have to confirm or deny that. You don't have to say if you are or not, or if that's something that you're thinking about. But with the fertility card here, if that is something that you want, if you want to have a baby, okay, now would be a good time, okay? Because with the Ace of Wands here, there's definitely a lot of sexual energy there, okay? And that means that if you want it, basically, you can get it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Or if you don't want it, given that the fertility card is here, if you don't want it, take all precautions to make sure that you don't fall pregnant. Okay. Now it doesn't have to be you. This can be someone close to you, by the way. But the Empress is the traditional card in this deck. But in this deck, she really does mean pregnancy. And even the card shows, you know, that the female's pregnant, the partner's behind her. She's got a hand on her belly, you know. So there's some cards that say that if you want to fall pregnant, you can. Okay. You've got the Princess of Staves and the Prince of Staves here. And this to me shows fast communication between you and a partner. All right, so that could be online, or it could actually just be very literally taking swift action and coming in. There's lots of communication here. There's lots of talk happening here. Now, be mindful of the Prince of Staves because they can be a little bit, I don't know, they're passionate, they're fun, they're exciting, they can lure you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but they're not the kind of person that's easy to commit, okay? So that's not to say they're a bad person. It's not to say that, you know, that they're going to be a bad partner. That's not it at all. It just means that they can be reluctant to commit. Okay, they'll do all the other stuff. They'll have all the fun with you. Okay, they'll you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. No worries about that. If you want it, you can have it.
Right.
But as far as long-term commitment goes, they are reluctant. And the reason why, you know, is because they just love having so much fun and they don't want to be tied down for long. But that's not to say they can't, that they won't. That's just where they're currently at. Now, you've got the Four of Arrows here, okay? This means healing. So this can indicate that you've had a recent falling out with this person or that you've recently been hurt and you're in the healing stage. You're kind of lapping up your wounds and thinking, well, where to from here? And what the cards are very much, you know, advising you to do. Here's the Innocence card. Here's the new beginning. Okay, again, I'm getting pregnancy. All right, so if you want, like I said before, I won't repeat myself, but if you want it, go for it. If you don't want it, take precautions not to, because the Innocence represents new beginnings in this deck. And the Four of Staves, this could be marriage. You have got a lot of staves here. You know what? This person that you're currently interested in, okay, with the energy of the Knight of Wands and the Temptation card coming out, okay, that confirms that it's going to be difficult for them to commit. But the Four of Staves does indicate potential of solid commitment, potential marriage, okay? In this deck, yes, it means building, it means one of you is wanting a more solid foundation to pursue this relationship, okay? Potential marriage. And with the Temptation card and the Knight of Wands there, be careful. This is possibly a person, like I said, who might even be cheating, okay? I'm not, the reason I'm saying that, now please don't take this literally, please don't make accusations. they might end up cheating because the Three of Cups has come out next to the Temptation card. Okay, and that can mean a third. Now that doesn't mean they don't love you. That doesn't, like I said, this Knight of Wands energy, the Prince of Staves energy, is someone who doesn't want to commit real quick. Okay, they want to play the field. They want to have multiple partners. Okay, so this is your danger. This could be where you potentially have a lesson to learn here, in that this relationship that you've got. Yes, there's the passion. Yes, there's all that sort of stuff. But is this person marriage material? Not yet. Okay, but you can fall pregnant to this person. All right. So 8 of Arrows. Yeah, just be careful. Okay, just get clear with you.
Yep.
Okay. Get clear with your intention of what you want, Becca. What do you want in a partner? Do you just want the passion? Do you just want the fun? If so, that's great, because guess what? You've got it. If you want solid, firm foundation, commitment, potential marriage, then this partner is not currently going to give that to you. Not yet. Not to say that they can't down the track, but not yet. And the reason why, because the 8 of Swords is there, and that's showing that this situation is very much stagnant. Okay, and it is about perception too. It's how they're seeing the situation, and you as well. But there is a way out of this, and that comes back to your intention in what you're wanting. Becca, do yourself a love spell, honey. Give yourself a bath in rose petals, burn some rose incense and lavender. You know, really set your intention with some rose quartz as well. That, you know, of self-love as well as attracting the love that you want, okay? And the universe will deliver, because there's someone out there wanting exactly what you can give to them. Now, I must get going. I hope that was helpful for you, Becca. Thank you for me doing a reading with you. I've just got a little cough in my throat, excuse me. Excuse me, I've had a cough. But thanks, everyone, for watching. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And, you know, if you're single, be happy being single. Get that chocolate out. Watch some cool movies or something, whatever. Or, you know, surround yourself with love, with family and friends. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Bless be. I'll be back same time next week. Thank you.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Mystic B Spiritual Insights, hosted by Anna Marie. Live from mystic-b.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, S1Radio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Mystic B Spiritual Insights
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mystic B Spiritual Insights. This is episode 3, and I am Anna Marie, your host. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, trusting me to be part of your journey. My hope is that we're all connecting with open minds and some grace, and together we're going to make it a great show. So, one of the things that I wanted to kind of clarify, last week we ran out of a little bit of time, and I had some messages that I had meditated on and received that I wasn't able to deliver. So this first part of the show, I want to honor those messages, and I want to go ahead and get those delivered, and then we'll move into a live reading. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, this show is every Thursday, same time, same channels. You can tune in live stream, you can watch a replay, or you can listen via podcast on a number of channels. And you can also reach out to me for any one-on-one sessions or suggestions, ideas. You can do that through the Mystic B Facebook page or my website, which is mystic-b.com. So as far as these messages, I need to give you a little bit of background on my process. So before I do one-on-one readings or group readings, I do meditate, and I often start receiving just some download of messages in general. It's not uncommon for me to get a name or two, but it's pretty uncommon to receive lots of names. So last week, when meditating for the show, that's when I started getting a lot of names. So I have some specific names with messages. I want to go ahead and share those as I mentioned, but it is unusual for me. So I'm not sure if this is a fluke or if this is something new, because this format is also new to me. But I would love any feedback. If these messages resonate with you, please reach out and let me know. If it doesn't resonate with you, but perhaps for someone you know, just be kind and pass that along if you think intuitively it's the right thing to do. I am just trusting that the person for whom these messages were intended will find the meaning and the value, if any. And on a side note, when I meditate and receive these messages, sometimes I will write them down in a journal. Sometimes I will voice text them to myself. Sometimes I just note them in my phone. So I'm going to do the purest route. You're going to see me reading directly from my phone. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we can learn. The first message, I received the name Lori. I got the location. It was either New Mexico or Arizona. Someone lost a mother, and there was something that was being done in honor of the mother. I got the name Richard, and it was saying, God bless Richard, apparently, or someone close to Richard that this is intended for, had lost their job in the last week or two. The message is that this is just temporary downtime. You're going to have a better job in just a few weeks. So hang tight, have faith. You're a hard worker and you'll do well. The third message was for Terry. I got the city of Reno. Looks like there's struggles with a child. The message is to see a specialist and get a second opinion. There may be other issues in the family, but focus on the children. The other issues will work themselves. And I got the name Milton. It seemed like Milton was named after someone, possibly a grandfather. Grandfather's looking over you. Keep doing your thing and don't look back. Then I got a message for Corey. You are curious. you're not sure what you believe in anymore, but you keep showing up every day, and that's a great thing. You don't have to label it. You don't have to explain it. Just follow your intuition and your own path. Do what's in your own best interest. For Brenda, it's time to move on. Kevin, cars are your jam, and you absolutely can have your own shop. Work hard, and all the rest will fall into place. Judy, don't be so restless. This is a lesson in patience for you. Keep your hands off. It will come in perfect time. And again, I know as much about this stuff as you guys do. There's pieces of messages that I get. I don't have all the facts or the details, so it's only going to be understood by the person that was meant to hear and receive it. Scott, you are meant to be in academia. Find a way to get back to school. Audrey, you will have a baby of your own. It just might take some extra effort. There's something very special about this baby. I got the name, I think it was Marilyn. I'm getting Maryland or Marilyn. And it says, I see travel to Europe to visit relatives, perhaps a cousin. Find a way to go on the trip. It will be great and meaningful to you and your family. And that was it. So, unusual for me, probably unusual for you in this sort of format. But what we want to do is we're going to change gears now. We're going to go into live reading. I have Amy from Pennsylvania. Amy, do I have you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I usually like to ask if someone has a specific question that they want to focus on, or would you like to start with a general reading?
Whatever you can give me, I'm happy with.
Oh, good. And I apologize. It's Amy Jo, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm in Anna Marie, so I know when my name gets abbreviated, it catches my attention. So my apologies, Amy Jo. Okay, let's see what we've got going here. Get information in lots of different ways, Amy. So sometimes it's just a feeling, or I'll start getting some pictures. I do have other tools available, like cards, in case I need them. But I'm getting a daughter. Do you have a daughter?
I do.
Okay. So first I'm getting something about the daughter, but usually when children come up, especially if you have more than one, and I'm only mentioning one child, it's usually someone that you're worrying about. Do you have a particular concern about your daughter right now? And if you don't, that's great. Don't try to make anything fit. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if she's someone that's more on your mind, that might be why I'm picking up on her.
Okay.
So if you're not, that's okay. We'll just move on. But I get the daughter. I also feel like she's not an only child. I feel like you may have a son also.
No.
Okay. I will just say this. I feel the younger male energy, whether it's your daughter's husband or it's a nephew. I feel some other energy that's close in age to your daughter. So what I would say just energetically around you right now, I feel like there is something that you got some bragging rights about, that there's been some sort of recent accomplishment with you, or you are working on something that you will be successful about, or is there something you're particularly proud of that you've just achieved?
A lot of bad things have been going on right now. So, like,
okay.
I don't think of any achievements. So,
did you leave a bad situation?
I've lost a bad situation like 4 years ago.
Okay. So what energy I'm getting, Amy Jo, is that there is something for you to be proud of. There's something that you've done. Now, it doesn't mean you haven't had hard times or there aren't challenges. And, we can focus more on that. But it also may be that you need to recognize how far you've come, okay, and how much you've accomplished despite the circumstances today. So whether it was something a week ago, 4 years ago, that is for you to decide. But I feel that you have a reason to be proud of yourself and something that you've decided to do or something that you've recently done or you're sort of in the process of doing. Do you have some big undertakings that you're trying to work through some things?
I don't know.
Okay, let's try this. So, um, let's try this from another angle. One, whether you acknowledge that you've accomplished and done some things to be proud of, that's okay. I also get male energy around you. This feels like a moody male, someone that might be a little bit unpredictable, someone that may not always communicate in the most encouraging or uplifting way. You have a male personality in your life that's a little moody?
Yes.
Okay. So I sense that he's the center of all the things happening in your world right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know the timing. I'm getting a number 7. So I don't know if you've been together for 7 years or if there was something like you met 7 years ago and then there was a time that you got together later. But I'm getting the number 7. I do feel like you have something that you need to look back on, that you were strong and successful. It's almost like whatever's happening with this individual, it feel like you've been through this before. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay. So look at the 7. So if we're in 2025, I'm just going to say, take a glimpse at maybe what was happening in your life around 2018 and see if you were to give some advice to the you in 2018, what would some of that advice be? And I would just really encourage you, try to take that wisdom from that situation because I think it applies here, but you're so much stronger than you were back then. And I know that you can get through these dynamics, but I feel like this person is kind of the root cause of a lot of issues. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So I also feel as though you are a very intuitive person, but you get some crossed signals and you start overriding your intuition because I think you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think you're just very empathetic and very compassionate towards others because you yourself have needed second chances and redemption and have people not judge you. But I feel like you're overriding your intuition and you need to quit trying to be so compassionate and generous and start setting some boundaries to keep yourself on the right track. And I just feel like this is a situation all on that wisdom from when you went through this before, try to set some boundaries. And I really do. I think you are going to get through this and you will be on the other side of these, we'll say, relationship roller coasters. Does this make sense for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I don't know I don't know if it's him, but I feel like there is an alcohol dependency issue happening. And I would just exercise caution around that because I think that there's some legal issues that either are stirring back up or maybe coming up. Does this make sense for you?
It absolutely does.
Okay. So just be cautious. This is really a time to prioritize yourself, put yourself first. Amy Jo, set those boundaries. And again, try to refresh your memory from 2018 and get some of that wisdom because I think if you gave yourself advice, right, you would do something differently then that I think you should be doing now. Does that help at all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to wish you the best of luck with your, I'm going to say, relationship and environment. I want you to think about that first mention where you've accomplished a lot. Do not dismiss how far you've come, because I feel like you've really overcome a lot of things in your life. You are strong, you are determined, you're hardworking, and you will get through this.
Thank you.
All right, Amy Jo, you take care. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for your time.
Certainly. I think we have Brittany.
Yeah.
Brittany, I'm Anna Marie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Would you like to focus on a particular question, or would you like to have just sort of a general reading?
I kind of want a general read, but possibly along the lines of like personal relationships.
Okay.
Like general, because I got a lot going on.
That's okay. You don't need to. I always love when people don't tell me things, because I think that's part of the fun in calling a psychic, right? You try to see, what do they know that they should know. So you don't need to give me any details. We'll see how I do. And when I say, does it make sense? I'm kind of just looking for that cue to see if we can go to kind of the next part of the message. So right, just energetically at a high level, I do feel like you're in a relationship now, but it feels off and on to me. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship. Yeah.
Okay. But it feels like it's off and on, hot, cold.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have to.
It's pretty
You don't have
hot.
to
Like
tell me
it's supposed to be hot, but it's.
Yeah,
that makes
you don't have
sense.
to
Like,
tell me.
we're in a
I just
committed
want to.
relationship.
Yeah, you don't have to give me the details on it. Let's just see what comes up sort of organically. But I feel the fickle nature of the relationship. I feel it coming and going. So I just feel like even if you live under the same roof, I feel like it's sort of walking on eggshells sometimes, and you're not sure where you stand. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see what I can get on him. Is he having a hard time with employment right now?
He is. He owns a business, and he had a rough week this week. But
Okay. What I'm getting is I'm getting a lot of competition. So he's either trying to get business or work, and he's having a really hard time getting business or work. So whether he's looking for a job or he's looking for business, I just feel like it's sort of more of an uphill battle than he would be accustomed to. And I think energy that I'm getting is his focus and intensity around the business burdens, the focus on work is sort of leaving you neglected. And I'm going to be really honest, Brittany, I think he's just focused. I don't think he has less love for you. I don't think he means to be neglectful. I think he's just concerned and hyper focused on trying to make things successful for the sake of his obviously well-being, but also the relationship, his family, his future. Does this make sense for you?
100%.
Okay. I also feel like you two have a little bit of an addiction to each other. And so I want to be mindful of other viewers and things, but usually this energy that I'm getting, it's usually a sexual addiction, or it's like an emotional addiction from some sort of dysfunction or codependency that you both grew up with. Do you find that when things are good, you're like can't stand being away from each other? Are you having that sort of energy when things are good? They're really intense. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want, just for the sake of the health of your relationship, it's great when you have fire and passion and intensity and all that, but I want to encourage you to go out as a couple and build up your friend circles. Find some other hobbies and things that can balance out your relationship, because you guys are so connected that when something's wrong with either one of you, you have nothing to fall on. Okay. So I want to really encourage you, just be patient with him right now as he's kind of working through this. See if there's anything you can do to just be a great teammate and encourage him. Keep the critical statements kind of set aside, but, focus on those things that you guys can do together to bring more dimension and layers to your relationship. Some hobbies, some friends, find some new groups, and try to balance out that intensity.
We're working on that. Gardens and chickens and.
Oh, good. That sounds fun. But I feel like you guys are going to stay together. I don't see you splitting up or anything like that. I think this is really a phase. It's just about the profession that he's choosing. It comes with some challenges. So, but don't be discouraged. I'm not getting anything like there's lack of love or there's another interest. He's really just hyper focused on trying to make this work or this business successful. Are there some other layers that you wanted to dive into with the last couple of minutes that we have?
It was just I've been setting boundaries with all kinds of people in my relationships in general, like around me, and I feel like that I didn't know if because I've been setting stronger boundaries with other people, now it's like he's creeped in. And now it's like, do I deal with you next? That's kind of where I was at.
So there's a saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So you might have a really dirty baby, give the baby a bath, the soap and the bubbles and the yuck in the water, drain it out. Don't throw everything out. Okay. So you might be warming up, right, in boundaries, but you can be strong and it doesn't mean you need to isolate yourself or sabotage your relationships. Okay. So boundaries are good, right? But you can still have people in your life with boundaries. That's what the boundaries, it's just the line not to cross. So don't get so focused on the word boundaries or setting limits that you isolate yourself or that you burn all the relationships, with the people that you love and care about. But obviously, if they're not honoring your boundaries, right, they're not healthy for you, you may have outgrown them. But I feel like in the context of your relationship, just focus on the communication, expanding, just again, your connections and the dimensions. Just, it can't be the two of you 100% of the time. It's just not healthy. Okay.
Right. Yep.
And if you've been cutting everybody off, you're probably feeling a little heartbroken and isolated right now anyway. True?
A little bit. I mean, if family issues, I have a lot of narcissistic bad people around me. An addict, an employee had to let go because problems.
So the boundaries are really important. Well, we're running out of time, but I'm telling you, Brittany, if you'd like to continue the conversation, feel free to reach out to me at mystic-b.com. I'm going to wish you the best. Don't throw the babies out with the bathwater. Set those boundaries, but you can still have loving relationships. So thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you. For those of you that didn't get a message or a reading this evening, please don't be discouraged. You can always try next week. You can connect with other great psychics on this network. You can also reach out to me directly, again, on my Mystic Bee Facebook page or my website. But thank you so very much for joining me this evening, and I look forward to seeing you next
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for astrology and psychic readings with Lady D. Live from LadyDPsychicParties.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Astrology and Psychic Reading on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi everybody, welcome to Astrology and Psychic Readings with Lady D. I'm your host for the segment, Lady D. I hope you've had an amazing week. So this week what we've got coming up with the planets is that we do have on today, we've got Venus, which is in sextile to Pluto. So that's going to be something positive to do with finances and relationships. This could be some sort of ending but rebirth, but it's a positive thing to do with your financial aspect or relationships. We've also got a sextile with the Sun to Chiron on the 8th, and that's bringing up some sort of healing with issues, it's like your wound, things you've been having problems with. And then on the 9th, we have a Mercury, which is in sextile to Chiron, which is really good for communication. Again, when we're dealing with Chiron, we're dealing with deep wounds that need healing. And in sextile Trine, they do give out that energy. On the 9th, we have the Sun and Mercury conjunction. That will be in Aquarius. It's about thinking outside the box. That will be a big day for communication. On the 10th, we've got Mars, which is in trine to Saturn, which is giving us that confidence, that boost that we need to be able to get through any issues that come up our way, any problems that come up. And then we've got on the building up with the 11th to the 13th to that full moon that's going to be in Leo. With that, we will have the moon, the sun, and Mercury in square to Uranus. So something unexpected may come up, unexpected emotions or unexpected, could be even triggers. When we're dealing with this full moon, we do have like two energies here. We've got Aquarian energy, and then we've also got Leo energy. So we're doing one energy that's very much wants to be part of the in crowd. It's ego here with Leos. It's like they're ruled by the sun. So it's like about getting attention and going out there and being social, being in the mix of things. And then we've got with this Mercury in the sun and even a Pluto in Aquarius, where you've got wanting to be individual, wanting to be your own unique person, it's okay to be quirky, thinking outside the box, having that more of that logic explanation, like thinking more logically about things as well, and thinking ahead and thinking in the future, and maybe being a little bit more conservative. But then it's like clashing with that Leo energy that we've got coming on. And then we have the square to Uranus. So something unexpected is going to bring up with that, whether it be emotions or unexpected event, because it's also squaring the sun around that time as well. So it will be an interesting full moon that we've got coming up. I feel like that there's going to be sort of expanding on truth telling. It could be like white lies being told and people not telling the full truth or over exaggerating the truth could be coming up with this full moon. It could be having the tensions or a bit of nervousness as well, because you've got those oppositions there with the two signs that are coming up. I feel like things are like expanding on the certain topics that it's coming up around the world. We even could see cracks forming in certain governments too, because it's all about where we're going now for the future. It's more about the people, what the people want, more than what the government and the leaders want. So it's more going to the hands of the people. Also, we've got coming up this week, I am being part of a psychic cruise, the Royal Caribbean cruise, which I'll be teaching psychic development on and astrology with me and 3 other ladies. So one lady's going to be doing like meditation and yoga, while the other one, 3 of us are psychic mediums. So we'll be teaching that and psychic development, mediumship development, as well as we've got another lady who's numerologist. So she'll be teaching numbers and I'll be doing the planets. There's a lot of other fun activities on the boat, but we are actually having an information session this Wednesday. So if you are interested, just go to my Facebook page or psychics@sea.com and have a look. Check out Wednesday night. I think it's like 6:30 Sydney time, and see if you have any questions or you want to be a part of that event. It's a great time to join us and to ask us any questions that you want. And that's happening just before the full moon there on a Thursday. Which is going to be a really good event. But yeah, this week I feel like this week I feel like a lot of it is about communication. So I feel like communication is going to be the key this week. Let's go to the caller. So we've got here, who's Gina. She's from Colorado in America. So hi Gina, how are you today?
Hi, good.
Hi, how can I help you today?
General.
Yeah. So you're wanting a reading?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want the reading to be about? Do you want it to be like on money, relationships?
General.
What would you like?
Yeah. I don't know. Anything.
You don't know?
Anything that comes. Anything that comes.
Okay. All right. I just feel with you. I feel like I'm holding something in, but it's something that's really exciting. I feel like it's a little bit nervous and anxious, but I feel like there's excitement here. So I feel like we're waiting on some sort of good news, something that's very positive. But I just feel like I'm holding something in, but I feel really happy about. I'm sort of bursting here that I want to share with people. So I do feel like there could be something that's very, very positive too. I feel like that. I don't think it's going to be straight away. This could be coming up later, but I do feel like there could be, I see like a long road trip, but I feel like it's a move though. I see like a moveless truck, but I see a long, like a road trip to go with you. But I think you might be going more California way. I feel like more beach with you. But I do see that with around you as well too. Okay. So your father, he's passed over?
No.
He's still with us? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So is he's a very loving man. Your dad, like you're sort of very close to him, or sometimes has he sort of bend the truth a little bit?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. I feel like the move that I'm seeing might be with him. I feel like that I feel like he likes to be, I feel like he wants to go be around water or the beach, because I feel like this move that I'm seeing might not be for you. It might be more for your dad, because I'm getting your dad. And I was just getting that he's a nice, loving guy, but I just got that bending the truth. And it's like, it's sometimes to his gain or to his will, because I feel like he doesn't like to tell people everything. He likes to keep something sort of more holded back or hold within. And I feel like you maybe a little, there's at times where you maybe a little bit like him too, but also you're very much independent. You're wanting to do things like you're like nice and neat. You want to have everything sort of boxed up nice and neat. But I feel like your dad's got this carefree attitude, but I just feel like I've got this thing of wanting to move, and it's like I want to move near water, beach, but I feel like this would be a long trip for him, because I see like a moveless truck, but it's like a big road trip, and I have to go through. I just feel like it's a long way to go wherever he's going. So I just see this like road trip truck, but I know it's like a moveless truck, and it would make him happy as well. It's like he's sort of daydreaming, wants to forget about his troubles, your dad, as well. And I feel like you're trying to be there for him, trying to support him, but I don't know if you can. It's like you're trying to, but it's like there's maybe you can't, or you're unable to with what's going on in your life. I just feel like you want to, but maybe there's some things you can't do as well with that. Do you have any questions?
No. So, like, I know he's just getting older, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know.
I just feel he wants to forget about his troubles. I just feel like he's just like he's sick and tired, and I feel like he doesn't like people complaining to him, and he's a bit cheeky, and he wants to have a bit of fun, I feel, as well. So I feel like where he is, it's a bit, I don't want to say gloomy, but I just feel like there's someone in his ear, and it's like they're complaining, and he doesn't want to hear the complaining anymore, and he wants to sort of be free. But I also feel like he feels like maybe he's younger than what he is, because I feel like it'd be a big decision to move. I don't know whether or not he'd be able to do it, because I just feel like he's neglecting like everything. Like he's not thinking everything through properly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. That was good.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for calling in today. So, guys, as I was saying before, this week is a big week about communication, about like expressing. I feel like it's going to be a good week to be able to go out, but also play it safe. Because I just feel like with the energies that we've got that's coming up here, it's really, I feel like could be a bit of tensions or some ego-driven things here. I mean, we still have some very positive aspects with some of the other planets. We've got Venus in sextile to Jupiter still, which is bringing up some luck with relationships and also finances, as well as the sextile to Pluto with Venus. And then we've got the Mars in tri to Saturn and then sextile to Uranus. So there are aspects here which indicate, go out, have fun, be social, but I feel like it's to do it be mindful what's happening around you and also where you are, because we do also have this big Leo energy coming up towards the next Thursday, which is really bringing up the ego in people, the attention, so more attention seeking, but then also wanting to think outside the box and thinking about other people and having that caring aspect as well. But yeah, if as I was talking before about the cruise I'm a part of in November, it is a very exciting time to be a part of. But as I said before, on Wednesday night, so if you're in America, it's your Tuesday. I'm not too sure what time, but if you just, it will be around 6 o'clock. I think it's around 6:30. I think it is. Just go to psychicsatc.com or our Facebook page is also Psychics at Sea to get all the information on that, and you can register and you can meet me and the other 3 ladies that are also going to be part of the event, and you can ask us questions. We can also go through pricing and different cabins and also what's on the ship and what's included as well. It's going to be a terrific event. And then also next week, I'm at the Brisbane MBS. So if you're in Brisbane, come down to the MBS Festival. I will be on the Speakers Lounge on Saturday at 10 a.m. So we'll be broadcasting live from that event next Friday as well, which is going to be very, very exciting too. So if you want to contact me, you can. My Facebook page is Lady D Psychic Parties. My Instagram is Lady D Psychic, and then my TikTok is Lady D Psychic, and my YouTube is Lady D or Danielle Psychic, and my website is Lady D Psychic Parties. I hope you all have an amazing week ahead, and I'll see you in Brisbane next week. So bye for now.